Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to beautiful Fesmire Field on the campus of Union University for today's ball game between the Lane College Dragons and your Union University Bulldogs. The bunting is hung, and it is opening day here in Jackson, Tennessee, as Bulldog fans will get their first opportunity to see some new and familiar faces take the field today in our single afternoon game. Looking at some of the new members on this roster for the Bulldogs, Coach McGee has added 13 new faces this season. Of those new faces, 4 are transfers and 9 are first-year Bulldogs. This is Coach Casey's second year as head coach, and Riley Self, who joined the staff last year, is also in his second year as the pitching coach for the Bulldogs. Union added graduate assistant coach Daniel Jones to the coaching staff in his first tenure as a Bulldog. A few big additions to the Bulldog roster include Jamal Allen out of Birmingham, Alabama, where he prepped at Ramsey High School. Allen began his collegiate career at Wallace State in Selma before playing a tenure at Xavier University of Louisiana and Dillard University. Allen was a 2023 GCAC Conference champion from Dillard University and also achieved a 2021 Black College World Series All-Tournament second-team selection. At 2021 at Xavier, Allen had 40 point in 2/3 innings pitched, 11 appearances, a 1.79 ERA, and 32 scoreless innings recorded. We're all excited to see the impact that he's going to make on the starting rotation, along with the man on the mound today. That's Brody Mann, the freshman, getting his first start in his first collegiate appearance. Noah Toney's another key addition to the Bulldog roster. He's transferred from Wallace Community College in Hanceville, where he accumulated a 3.90 ERA in his freshman season, hit .303 at the plate, and helped lead the team to a conference championship and a 23 ranking at the D1 NGCAA Top 25. Union's returning their ace Sam Poindexter. Lefty will once again lead this rotation for the Bulldogs. He spent the summer playing for the Jackson Rockabillies in the Prospect League over at the park here in Jackson. Last season, Poindexter started in 12 games, finished with a 4.07 ERA, 3 complete games thrown, 84 innings pitched, 60 strikeouts, and a .236 batting average against him. This past weekend, the Bulldogs started out the season on the road as Union fell in all 3 games of the opening weekend series to Young Harris College. The Bulldogs scored 5 runs versus the Mountain Lions over the weekend, 2 of which came off the bat of senior third baseman Mitch Sisk. Over the weekend, he hit .500, went 4 for 8, collected 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Sophomore Grant Ross also had a solid weekend, batting .666. Going 6 for 9, Ross collected 1 extra base hit and an RBI. The 2 of those guys accounted for 10 of Union's 20 hits, as well as all of our RBIs. Poindexter and Evans both threw in Game 1 for Union, allowing 5 earned runs on 12 hits, 5 walks, and no errors. Another encouraging outing from the opening weekend came from sophomore Eli Snelson. Snelson gave the Bulldogs 5 1/3 strong innings, a 3-hit, 2-run baseball, and collected 5 strikeouts. And now we go down to the plate for today. It's 58 degrees here in Jackson with a direct south wind of 7 miles per hour directly towards home plate. It's going to take some significant power to knock one out of the park today. On the mound, about to throw his first pitch is freshman right-hander Brody Mann, and that's going to be right outside of the strike zone. He's making his collegiate debut for the Bulldogs. He prepped at Fairview High School. He played 4 years of baseball, 2 years of football. He helped his travel ball team to a USSA state championship. He's listed as a 2022 Perfect Game preseason underclass All-American and was listed to the Perfect Game top prospect list. Off the field, he already holds an associate's degree in macroeconomics from Columbia State. Across the diamond for the Dragons today, we're going to see the junior righty Thomas Deschette bringing the heat for the Dragons. He's got a 7 ERA coming in this game, and Brody Mann nails Palito Perez in the helmet. It's going to be the first run of the game for the Dragons on a hit by pitch, and Brody puts one on. Here's the starting lineup for the Lane Dragons. Batting first, playing third base, we got Palito Perez. Batting second, playing left field, we have Cody Kirkland. Batting third and playing right field, we have Ty Benefield. Batting fourth, and the designated hitter in this game is Dakota Danner. Batting fifth and catching is Seth Shannon. Batting sixth and playing center field, we have Zach Baker. Batting seventh and playing first base is Anu McKay. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Walton Thompson. Batting ninth is Desmond Adam. Batting in that 9-hole and playing second base. Up to plate now is Cody Kirkland. Lefty stands in the box. Palito Perez leading off first after taking the hit by pitch, and that is just outside. That is definitely one of the things we want to keep down this season. The Bulldogs were fighting all season long to hold the record of who in the Gulf South Conference could have the most hit by pitch in a season. They were right up there with the numbers in the 90s if the starting rotation is able to keep those numbers down this season. That was a thing that really hurt the Bulldogs last year, especially from their pitching, was those inflicted wounds of walks and hit by pitch. Here's the delivery from Brody from the stretch way outside. At the plate today, we have Canyon Pace for the Bulldogs catching. And here is the defensive starters for the Bulldogs. Out in left field, we have Eli Ramsey. Out in center field, we have Eli Snelson. Out in right field, we have Carson Chavies playing third base. We have Mitch Sisk. His bat's been on fire as of late. We'll see if he is able to continue that this afternoon. There's a pickoff attempt over to first base. It's caught by Grant Ross, unable to pick him off. Over at shortstop, we see Dylan Barrett. Second base, we have Alec Hardy returning for another season. Over at first base, we have Grant Ross. DHing for the Bulldogs today is Blake Barrett, and of course, Canyon Pace behind the plate. Quite a few new faces in this defensive lineup after losing a few guys we knew and loved, like Swanson and Netterville and Trey Frierson, but they're looking to have a good season this year with some new faces as well as the familiar friends. From the stretch, here's Brody Mann, looks over, runner not going. Lasers one right down the middle of the plate to take the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to the left fielder for the Dragons. The Dragons enter this game after already playing 4 this season, 1-3 on the year, looking for their second win as the Bulldogs look for their first. Man from the stretch, runner going, and it's going to be a walk. No attempt at a stolen base pickoff. Canyon was ready to fire, and we're going to have a quick meeting at the mound as Canyon Pace is going to join his coach to talk to Brody Mann. We'll be right back with you here in just a few seconds.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
You trade in your car. You trade in your house. So why not get some equity back from your old HVAC system? McCoy's Heating and Air will now give you up to $2,000 trade-in for your old unit, plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty with the purchase of a qualifying York system. That's right. Trade in your old unit and get up to $2,000, plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty. For a limited time, only from McCoy's Heating and Air.
After a brief meeting at the mound, Brody Mann calms down. He's got 2 runners on now. We got Kirkland after being hit by a pitch. Kirkland after taking the walk. Perez is hit by the pitch. So Perez is out at second. Kirkland's now at first after the base on balls. And the first pitch is in there for a strike on Ty Benefield. The junior so far this season is hitting .429 in the 4 games they've played. He has 14 at-bats, 1 run scored, 6 hits, 1 RBI, and a slugging percentage of .429. In the 3 hole, he struck out 3 times this season. Man from the stretch. You can see Mitch Sisk over at third base and a great pickoff attempt, and it's going to look like they got him. A great tag applied by Alec Hardy, the second baseman, eliminates a runner, and the Bulldogs get their first out at home this season on a great pickoff attempt. Leading off way too far was Polito Perez. He was probably 8-9 feet out and was caught like a deer in the headlights. As soon as Brody turned, he knew it was over. Alec Hardy with a fantastic grab. And we've got 1 out, 1 on here. Mitch Sisk at third base is going to drop back a few more feet now that he has to no longer protect the bag in a possible bunt situation. So Mann's going to take his time, look over to first base. Holding the runner, Kirkland, is going to be Grant Ross in his sophomore season. Made a huge impact, great bat. And that's going to be a stolen base attempt. Alec Hardy with the tag. Did the runner come off? No, he did not. Kirkland makes it in, and he steals a base to move over to second. And that's going to do it here in the bottom of the first inning we go. We'll be right back with you.
Christian college or are starting the college search process, I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Leading off at the plate in the bottom of the first inning for the Bulldogs is going to be the second baseman, the outfielder. He's playing center field today. Plays a little bit everywhere. The utility player Eli Snelson, a junior out of Miles College. Snelson transferred from Miles College. He played 1 season of baseball. Prior to Miles, he played a season at Sneed State Community College, prepped at Hartselle High School, and played 4 years of baseball. And in 2021, he helped lead his team to the state title. His second pitch is just a little bit low, but below the knees. 2 balls, no strikes to Snelson. Last season for the Bulldogs, he played in 22 games, had 4 hits, 4 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. One of those games with a very impressive walk-off, one of the highlights of last year's season. Next pitch is going to be in there for a called strike one. On the mound today for the Lane College Dragons, we have Thomas Touchette. He has played in 1 game so far this season. He comes into this one with a 7 ERA. Started that game at 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, struck out 3 batters, just gave up 1 home run in the 16 batters that he faced last week against Blue Mountain. Touchette starting from the stretch. Even with no runners on, here's the pitch to Snelson. It's going to be in there for a called strike 2. So Snelson has watched 5 consecutive pitches, takes the count full, and the Bulldogs are doing their diligence at the plate rather than eagerly attacking. They're going to be patient with this one this season. We see the infield playing deep, and here's the pitch. That's going to be right on the right side over the first base dugout. Foul ball. Here's the defensive starter for the Lane Dragons today. Kirkland's out in left field, Baker in center field, Bennyfield out in right. At third base, we have Perez. At shortstop, we have Thompson. At second, we have Adam. McCabe is over at first. The designated hitter is going to be Denner. And behind the plate is Shannon, catching for Touchette, as Eli Snelson fouls another one off. Here comes the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Good quality at-bat early here in the game for Snelson. And here's a delivery. He's going to take it outside, and he's going to take his way to first base. He has his first walk of the game. And the Bulldogs have their first base runner at home this season. Here's the starting lineup for the Union University Bulldogs. Batting first and playing center field is Eli Snelson, who we just saw take the walk. Batting second is the right fielder Carson Chavies. Batting third is the third baseman Mitch Sisk. Batting cleanup and playing second base is Alec Hardy. Batting fifth is the first baseman and sophomore Grant Ross. Batting sixth, the catcher Kenyon Pace. Batting seventh, the designated hitter Blake Barrett. Batting eighth, the shortstop Dylan Barrett. And batting ninth and playing left field is Eli Ramsey. Here's the pitch in there to Carson Chavies. Chavies in his second full season with the Bulldogs performed incredibly well last year, earning his starting spot. Here's the delivery. It'll be up and just outside. Excuse me, this is actually his third season. He earned that starting spot 2 years ago as a freshman when he played in 29 games, started in 23 of those games after graduating from Collierville High School, coming straight into Union. It was a really exciting moment to see him return back to this Bulldog squad for his third consecutive year. He hit .333 in his first season as a freshman, had 87 at-bats, .356 slugging percentage, and a .431 on-base percentage. Last year as a sophomore, he had the all-district honors, and we're going to see Eli Snelson steal his first base of the year. He looks like he came off the bag just a little bit. Thompson almost got him on the slide, but Snelson, speed cannot be stopped. He has his first stolen base of the game, and the Bulldogs have a runner in scoring position for the first time. Last year, Chavis hit .288 and 146 at-bat, played in 43 games, started every single one of those, and he led the Bulldogs with a .402 on-base percentage. They've got him in the 2-hole this season. It'll be fun to see what he does. Hits it right up the middle. Shortstop coming over. That's Thompson. He makes an error. It's grabbed by the second baseman, Adam, and Chavis is on. We'll see if they credit that as an error or a single. Went right off the mound. One of the toughest plays that you can make as an infielder, especially with the unpredictability of the ball. But Snelson now moves over to third. Chavis moves over to first. And the Bulldogs are going to have a first and third situation. Just a little clarification on what happened to end the top of the first inning. They ruled it that the Benefield was out on a batter's interference, and then he was caught stealing at second base all in one chaotic play, and they ruled both of them out. It was a double play to end that inning in the top of the first. So kind of a unique situation. Interesting to see that that's how they scored it. But Bulldogs were able to escape the top of the first inning, and now they've got a first and third situation. One runner in scoring position. That's Eli Snelson over there at third base. Carson Chavis over at first, and Mitch Sisk is at the plate. Takes a really big swing and a miss on the second pitch that he sees of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mitch earlier this weekend had the bat on fire. He hit 2 home runs in the opening series against Young Harris. We'll see if he can continue that today. Of course, the wind directly facing home plate as a pickoff attempt there by Tichette falls up just short. Here's the 1-1. Goes home with it, and Sisk swings right through it. See the second baseman Adam running over to cover just in case contact was made, and Chavis tries to make his way home. Eli Snelson not taking too terribly large of a lead. Playing pretty reserved here. Bulldogs looking to keep the small ball going. No need for the big hit, but here's some guys that can definitely do it. Down goes Chavis, a throw way off the mark, and Chavis is going to have a stolen base. He moves over to second. The Bulldogs have 2 runners in scoring position. We got Snelson at third, Chavis at second. The throw was way off the mark, but that is going to be Sisk going down swinging.
Now at the second baseman, number 8, Alec Hardy.
Alec Hardy, the cleanup hitter, playing second base today, is going to have his opportunity for a few RBIs here in the bottom of the first inning. If the Bulldogs are able to strike first, here's a delivery from Tichette, and it's going to be fouled out towards the field house out in right field. Alec Hardy in his second season with the Bulldogs brought a lot of fun energy. Last year the team transferred to Union last year after playing 3 seasons at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. And he's going to watch that one come right down the middle of the plate. He prepped at Stone High School, played all 4 years of baseball, 2 years of soccer, helped the team to the 5A Soccer State Championship. Well-rounded athlete. Competes in many intramurals here on campus. He's going to look in to see if he's able to pull off some RBIs here. Adam, the second baseman, playing over, and that's going to be right up the middle, and that's going to go out in the outfield. Baker's going to grab it in the center field. 1 run scores at Snelson. Coming around third is Carson Chavis, and Alec Hardy is going to have a single with 2 RBIs to get this season started. The Bulldogs take a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Alex, the guy to get things started, and now he joins Grant Ross and Mitch Sisk for having some RBIs on the season. No question about that. So Adam was coming over to get ready for a possible play at second base, and he ended up dropping back, and he was caught off balance, and there was no shot that anybody in that middle infield was going to get that ball. As Hardy takes a huge lead over there at first base, kind of fakes a stolen base possibility, keeping Touchette on his toes as he continues to pitch from the stretch. Now against Grant Ross, the lefty sophomore. First game we got to see him in last year. He hit a home run. There's going to be a stolen base attempt here by Alec Hardy. They're going to say he slid underneath it. He's safe at second. And all three base runners for the Bulldogs have had a stolen base. A highly aggressive and speedy team this year for the Bulldogs. They got 3 stolen bases already here in the bottom of the first inning. A great slide there by Hardy, going right underneath the tag. Really good throw there by the catcher, Shannon. Just not effective enough, and the Bulldogs have another runner in scoring position. They remove the force out, and here's the pitch to Ross. It's going to be just in the bottom of the zone, a little bit towards the bottom left corner. Ross takes the count 1-2. Grant Ross also out of Collierville High School, much like Carson Chavies, playing his second season. He was named MVP in high school, All-State and All-Metro, and that ball is going to get away from the catcher Shannon, and Hardy is going to walk his way over to third base, once again in striking position for the Bulldogs to add a few more runs to the board here early in the game. It's good to see them playing conservative, but also using the ability to steal bases, be aggressive, and capitalize on the ground balls in the infield. Thompson and Adam very split. We see Adam preparing against the left-handed batter, and it might work out for him. Here's a ground ball to Adam. 1 run's going to score. It's an RBI for Grant Ross, and it also trades it for an out. So Hardy comes around third to score the 3rd run of the inning for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs take a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first, but not before Ross is able to have a 4-3 RBI. So Sisk struck out, Ross grounds out, and now we turn it over to the catcher, Canyon Pace. Canyon Pace here in his second season with the Bulldogs. Here's a delivery. He's going to hit that way back into the netting. Graduated from Russellville High School out of Russellville, Alabama. 6 foot, 220-pound catcher. Plays a little bit of first base, third base as well. Last season he played in 32 games, started 25 of those. Typically on the doubleheader games he'd split the day with Ben Smith, and that's going to be hit to the second baseman, Adam, once again. He throws it over to first, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. To the top of the 2nd inning we go, but not before the Bulldogs are able to put up a commanding lead, 3-0. Snelson came home to score, Chavies came home to score, and Hardy came home to score on RBIs by Alec Hardy and Grant Ross. We'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments.
Your life, your home,
your business, your future.
Focusing on you, West Tennessee Bank strives to serve its clients in every season of life. With vast experience in personal and business banking, we take pride in guiding you through significant events. At West Tennessee Bank, we help you realize your dreams.
West Tennessee Bank is a division of Decatur County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. West Tennessee Bank, focused on you.
The top of the 2nd inning here for the Dragons. Their designated hitter in the cleanup spot will face Brody Mann. Brody in his first inning of work only had to get by with 12 pitches, gave up that 1 walk to Kirkland before the weird situation ended it with the batter's interference. The stolen base attempt, we had the pickoff, so Perez was picked off, and there's a stolen base by Kirkland. They called it not a stolen base, but here we are, clean slate, 2nd inning. And the Dragons get to start over right here with Danner. Danner so far this season has a .400 average. He's starting all 4 of their games, and he's going to take that one for a low strike 1. Scored 2 runs, has 4 hits, 2 doubles already on the season, 1 RBI, a slugging percentage of .600, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Here's a delivery from the windup from Mann. That's going to be hit to the second baseman. Alicardi's got it, throws it over to first base to Grant Ross, and that's going to be a quick, easy 4-3 ground out as Danner is retired.
Now batting the catcher, number 31, Seth Shannon.
Seth Shannon, the lefty, will take his spot in the batter's box. He's hitting .167 so far this season. He's got 6 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, a low slugging percentage of .167 as well. Struck out once, and here's the windup from Mann and a real slow swing there. Looked like he was almost in slow motion as Brody Mann snuck that one right past him. Great delivery. It's interesting to see the Dragons really trying to get in on these early pitches. They're swinging at things early. They're not waiting on it like the Bulldogs have, and that is a key factor. He swings and misses that one just the same as the first. Brody's got some time to work with it. We'll see if he throws something a little bit outside. He's been hugging the right-handed batter's box basically this entire game. Of course, we saw the hit by pitch in the first inning to Perez to the helmet. But now that he faces a lefty, he's in total control. He is going to throw it up and out, Canadian pace, baiting it high, but Shannon's able to hold off and wait. Got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here to Shannon. Here's a delivery from Mann. It's going to be dinked out to left field. Running in is Eli Ramsey. He's going to dive for it. It's not going to get it. It's going to hit the ground. Rounding first is going to be Shannon. He's going to second base. The throw will not be in time. And we'll see how they credit that, but that might be a possible double here for Shannon to start off the top of the second inning. You always ask yourself, was it better to dive and let him get a double, or do you wait on that one, just field it cleanly, accept that you may not get it, and hold him to a single? We'll see if that affects the Bulldogs here in the top of the second inning. So Shannon makes his way over to second. Scorekeepers up in the booth deciding whether that was an error or whether that was a double. And here's a delivery. And that's going to be right in the middle of the infield. Grabbing it's going to be a weird ball. They're going to rule it foul, dead ball, right off the plate. And we're going to reset things here with a 0-1 count. Zach Baker, the batter, sophomore, out of Memphis, Tennessee. Looking his man, Hardy drops back into his position, throws it way outside. Pace hauls it in. Baker today out in center field. He's also pitched in a few games already this season. He's got 2 losses in his 7 appearances last season. He's going to have a pickoff attempt, and Brody Mann sails it out into center field. Thankfully, Shannon was down on the ground, no ability to jump back up, and good defense there by Eli Snelson. It was what could have possibly been another free base given up, but that's not the case. Great backup there by the center fielder Snelson. Back to Baker we go. Baker so far this season is hitting .231. He's played in all 4 games, 13 at-bats, has 1 run, 3 hits, 1 RBI on the season last year. A cumulative batting average of .333, and that ball's going to be on the ground. Pace scrambling around to get it, but he makes sure that Shannon doesn't go anywhere from second base. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here to Baker, runner on second base. You see Mitch Sisk over at third base playing in on the infield grass, preparing for a possible move him over bunt situation to set up a first and third. Alicardi drops back to second. That's going to be a check swing. No call. Looked like a great pitch placement there by Brody Mann. Doesn't get the call on that one. It's high up in the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here to Baker. Zach Baker, couple windmills, rocks back and forth. Alicardi sneaking in for a pickoff attempt that will not happen. And here's a delivery from Brody Mann, and it's going to be a walk. Pace going to make his way out. Sets up a force out at any possible base. So Baker's over there on the walk. Shannon still at second base. They did credit Shannon with a double on that hit that he had to left field, but Eli couldn't get to. Brody now looking over the dugout. Coach Casey, the one who's giving him his signals. He's telling him to move back. Grant Ross going behind the first base runner. Baker over there as a signal from his coach. A huge lead out there at second base by Shannon. Definitely tempting after he got the first pickoff attempt in the first inning, and that's going to be a called strike on McCabe. A new McCabe, the junior for the Dragons. So far this season's hitting .167, played in 3 games. He started in only 2. This is his 3rd start of the season. He's got 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, and a weird attempt there by Brody Mann. Did a little bit of a spin move, avoided the balk situation. Alec Hardy hauled it in, but not great placement there on the pickoff attempt. It was a good attempt just to hold him there, but no chance for the pickoff. Hardy playing real close to that bag, and here's a big kick from Brody Mann just outside. Hardy at second base giving the signals there to Canyon Pace to alert his pitcher of possible pickoff attempt. And they're going to go for it. Here's the pickoff attempt. Sliding back in just in time is Shannon there at second base, but a really good attempt there on a massive lead that he's taken. Hardy had the ball in a good position, but it was on the other side of the bag. You knew right away he was going to jump for that one. Not a cloud in the sky today. A beautiful day here in Jackson. Donut truck just rolled off of campus. We saw it over by the Student Union building. Students having the day off of classes for assessment day. Always a great treat. And a good smell in the air today around the ballpark. Hardy drops back. Man goes home. And a great off-speed pitch there. Man, if you're McCabe and you're in the batter's box, you think for sure that's going to be a slow dribbler right into your left shoulder, but that dropped and broke right into the strike zone beautifully. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here to McCabe. 2 runners on. We got Shannon at second, Baker over at first. Looking for something on the ground here for a roll-em-up double play, and it's going to be high up in the zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The count goes full, and the pressure's all going to be on Brody Mann here. As the freshman looks in, we see the right fielder Carson Chavies slowly drifting closer and closer towards the infield out and right. And here's a delivery. It's going to be on the ground. Mitch Sisk's got it. He's going to take it to second base. That's Alec Hardy at second. Over to first. It's going to be Grant Ross. And the Bulldogs have a 5-4-3 double play, beautifully orchestrated. And a great play to get us down to the bottom of the second inning. Bulldogs up by 3. We'll be right back with you here in Jackson.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
When you hear our name, know that it comes with a promise to give back to the community that built us, a promise to provide a human touch in a world that is becoming more automated. Ever since we put our roots down in Jackson in 1996, we have aspired to be community-focused by supporting programs and organizations that are important to our city. At First Bank, it is our mission to be present in our community and to continue the belief that when you bank local, you get more. Member FDIC.
In the bottom of the first inning, Thomas Duchette threw 22 pitches, struck out 1, walked 1, faced 6 batters, and gave up 3 runs. He's now facing the towering Blake Barrett, who takes the first one in there for a called strike. Barrett, the 6'2", 240-pound grad student out of Greenville, Indiana. Graduated from Floyd Central High School, spent a couple years at Lincoln Trail Community College, and he launches that one out towards the bullpen in right field, right over the turtle, and there's some action going on in the Lane Dragons bullpen that Blake Barrett just raised awareness of. Last year, in his senior season, he played 33 games, started in 30 of them. He hit .255 with 5 doubles, 1 home run, added 10 walks, 5 hit by pitches, had a .348 batting percentage, and you can just hear with the crack of the bat that there's a powerful swing going into each and every one of his swings. He had a perfect fielding percentage last year, played a lot of first base last season, moves into the designated hitter role, at least in this game. He had 75 fielding opportunities, was perfect over there at first. He's going to take that one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Blake Barrett. During his time at Lincoln Trail Community College, named NJCAA All-Academic, his prep years at Floyd Central High School, played 2 years of basketball as well. Absolutely clubbed at the plate. Fouls that one back into the netting. Just a little quick recap from the bottom of the first inning. We had Eli Snelson get on with a walk, and then he stole a base to make it over to second base. Carson Chavis then got on as well. He stole a base. Mitch Sisk then struck out looking, but it was during that play that Chavis was able to move over. Hardy then came in, knocked them both in with a single, and Barrett is going to launch that one out towards right field. Coming together is going to be Baker and Bennyfield. They're not going to get to it, and Barrett's going to have at least a double. He's standing up, doesn't even have to slide. He's in there to lead off the bottom of this second inning with a towering double pop fly out towards the 365 wall out there. 385 wall, excuse me, out in right field. Barrett gets on with a huge double. Interesting to see his use of power down in the 7 hole. Bulldogs mixing up where they got their speed at the top of the order, and Barrett's going to take a big lead. Adam, the second baseman, is going to hold him tight. He's going to basically be standing on second base. He runs away, and here's the pitch from Tichette. Showing bunt is going to be Dylan Barrett in his first home appearance for the Bulldogs. Dylan Barrett, sophomore at Ann Arundel Community College. Got a few guys out of there, and here's a delivery to him. Pulls back, shows bunt once again, and it's going to be in there for a called strike. Originally out of Bel Air, Maryland, went to Bel Air High School. Barrett, the shortstop, helped lead his team to a 2022 regional championship. He played 1 year of baseball last year at the community college. And it's the first look here for Bulldog fans at our new shortstop, replacing the years that we saw Britt Netterville and worked for so many years out there with Patrick Music, and then Alec Hardy filled the spot with ease last season. And now we see Hardy and Barrett take over in the middle infield, hopefully for years to come here in Jackson. Tichette from the stretch. He's going to throw that in there for a called strike 2. Barrett's going to step out, take a few swings, recalibrate. It's going to be a 2-ball, 2-strike count here to Dylan Barrett. Perez over at third base, playing in the middle of the dirt. Adam, a lot of speed over there at second base, keeps bouncing around, jumping around, and a good save there by the catcher, Shannon. Eliminates the ball rolling back to the backstop. Blake Barrett, not the fastest guy, but man, can he move if he needs to. So the count goes full, no outs here for the Bulldogs. Blake Barrett in scoring position out of second base. And Dylan's going to have an opportunity to knock him in here. Here's the pitch. He's going to take it for a called strike 3, and he goes down looking as the umpire rings him up as it goes straight through the middle of the plate.
Now batting the left fielder number 3, Elijah Ramsey.
Eli Ramsey, freshman out of Tipton Rosemark Academy, also getting his first look from Bulldog fans in his collegiate home debut here at the Fesmeyer Field. Tipton Rosemark Academy out of Rosemark, Tennessee. Played all 5 years of baseball there, 4 years of basketball. Regularly collected many recognition awards, started racking up the accolades, including 3 Offensive Player of the Year awards, all district, all region honors. when he was on the basketball court. He was also named the MVP twice and most improved, but he decided to go to college and play baseball. Good decision for the Bulldog baseball program. Stepping off is Touchette. He looks back at Barrett back there at second base. He decides not to throw. Ramsey, the left-hander. He's going to step back into the box. His towering 6'4" build. A real slow delivery. They're going to have a pickoff attempt that's way off the mark. It's actually the shortstop, Thompson, coming over to grab it because there's a left-hander at the plate. Never want to leave that second base hole exposed. So Thompson comes over, throw way off the mark. Barrett is safe out there at second. One down, one on. Thomas Touchette looks back and throws it way outside. Obviously a little rattled by the batter. You can see when he doesn't check second base, his accuracy has been significantly better, but it's immediately when he cocks his head back to the right is when the control is starting to shake a little bit. For Bulldog fans, we're okay with that. Elijah wiggling bat there on his left shoulder, loads up, and here's a delivery. He's going to swing at it, and it's going to sneak right underneath him. Count goes to 2-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. While Ramsey was in high school, he won 2 region district championships. Also holds the record for his high school for triples and ended his career ranked top 10 in batting average, doubles, and RBIs for his school. He's going to step out, and here is the opportunity. Takes his fist to his chest twice, loads back up. He spreads his stance a little bit more, a little lower than what we've seen. He's going to be going for everything, trying to protect the plate here with a 2-2 count as he fouls that one off over the third base dugout towards the parking lot. Pretty good attendance here at the Fez. All the softball players coming out to support the men across the diamond. The other side of the complex. Shortstop Thompson backs off, and he's once again rattled by that base runner. We see it time and time again. Every time that Thomas looks back, his control just goes out the wazoo. So full count here to Ramsey and the 9-hole. Of course, Eli Snelson on deck. You don't want to get back into that speed. So if they are able to do something here, it'll help them tremendously. Here's the pitch, and a good foul off there by Ramsey back into the backstop netting. As he continues to battle and stay alive. As he looks in for his 7th pitch of the at-bat. Actually, 8th pitch of the at-bat. Excuse me, he had 2 foul balls there. Thompson between Barrett and second base. He's standing there. He drops back, and here's a delivery. Inside cut, and that's going to be a swinging strike 3 from Ramsey as he goes down, and Touchette has back-to-back strikeouts here in the bottom of the second inning. And to the top of the lineup we go. Back to Eli Snelson.
Eli Snelson.
Snelson with unbelievably good patience in the bottom of the first inning. He waited and waited and waited. Had an 8-pitch at bat before he was able to take that walk. Moved over with his quick speed on a stolen base. He's out playing center field today as the shadow of the light pole is now covering second base. Here's a delivery. He's going to swing and chip it directly into the ground. Barrett's making his way over to third base, but it's a foul ball is when it appeared. So it looks like they're going to send Barrett back to second. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Barrett starting to round third base, thinking that it was a roll-away ball that Shannon missed, but Snelson definitely got a piece of that directly into the backstop foul ball, dead ball, and a good call there by the umpire at home to reset everything just the way it was before we got started. Playing generously deep is McCabe, the first baseman, in case there's a little opposite field hit. Snelson, there's going to be a pickoff attempt, and absolutely nobody standing on the bag, and miscommunication there by the second baseman, Adam. Desmond Adam was there, and he called no pickoff, ran back to his position comfortably in the dirt, and Touchette just launched that one into center field. Barrett was Stunned more than anybody, he looked around to see who was going to apply the tag, and it didn't matter. He could have just taken off to third if he knew that there was nobody there. But a weird play there by the Dragons and a little miscommunication sloppiness is going to have to throw the next one into the dirt against Eli Snelson. Snelson came around to score on the single by Alec Hardy as well as Carson Chavies. He was the first run of the season at home for the Bulldogs. Adams standing on second base. He calls no pickoff. Snelson's going to take a check swing, hack at it. Umpire says he did not go. Ball 2. One guy warming up for the Bulldogs in the left field bullpen. We've had some action consistently happening in the Dragon bullpen in right field. A couple guys warming up. And here's a delivery to Snelson. Big swing and a miss. Goes right through that. Eli Garcia for the Dragons out in the right field. Warming up a couple of relievers, doing some stretches over here in the grass. Great maintenance and care by our grounds crew to get everything ready for our first home game of the season. The dirt looks great. Nice crisp brown. As we look around campus out towards the soccer field is nice and tan. All the grass here in the cold winter months. Of course, having the snow week about 2 weeks ago where the team was unable to use the complex and the facility. They went over to a local high school over at USJ. Bulldogs practiced over there at the University School of Jackson for a few days as they let their field thaw out. Spent a lot of time in the field house getting reps in, but they got it ready for our first home game, and the grass is green and the nicest place on campus. Most beautiful place at Fesmeyer Field. Here's the delivery to Snelson with a full count. He goes down. They call a foul tip caught by Shannon. He goes down swinging, and the Bulldogs go 1-2-3 after the double by Blake Barrett. To the top of the third we go. Bulldogs up 3-0.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
The award-winning BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios. Over 750,000 views in 2023. We're where you need to advertise. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join over 4,500 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union University, Bethel, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, Sacred Heart, and Peabody. Multi-camera broadcasts, slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. The BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Brody Mann comes out for his 31st pitch. He's recorded 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, walked 2 in the 7 batter he's faced. And the Dragons now turn their hopes over to their shortstop, Walton Thompson. Here's delivery to Canyon Pace, low and outside. Canyon makes a good grab there behind the plate. Thompson so far this season has done a little pitching, a little hitting, a little playing out in the field. That delivery from Mann is going to be outside once again. So far this season, Thompson has failed to reach. He's started 2 games, played in 3 games, has 4 at-bats. He walked once, and he struck out 3 times. And that's going to be hit right in between the shortstop and the third baseman. Sisk and Barrett unable to get it. It's going to roll out to Ramsey. And Thompson's going to have his first hit of the season in a single out to left field. Nice and easy, right in the gap. Nothing the Bulldogs are able to do with that one. Now it's going to bring up the second baseman, Desmond Adam. Desmond Adam, the junior, So far this season, he's hitting .077 in the 4 games he's played in. Has had 13 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 run. Slugging percentage of .077. Struck out 3 times. Here's a delivery from Wyatt. Swung on and missed. Scotty Wyatt actually on the mound. Brody Mann came out after throwing only 30 pitches, and Scotty throws it over to first. This will be the first that we've seen of Scotty Wyatt for the Bulldogs. So Brody Mann went 2 innings, pitched 30 pitches. Early pitching change here. An interesting decision from Coach Casey, of course. We've got a long week ahead of us. Got to rest our pitchers throughout the week. As we have plenty of games. We've got games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's going to dribble right out of bounds there on to foul territory on the third base line. Brody Mann had a real good outing. Encouraging to see the youthfulness doing well. Of course, this is the game of freshman pitchers today. Scotty Wyatt, also out of Collierville High School. Just like Grant Ross, Carson Chavies on that team with a lot of them, as the Bulldogs have done a good job recruiting out of Collierville, about an hour away from here, and that's going to be launched out towards left field. Elijah Ramsey underneath it, and he hauls it in for the first out of the inning as Adam goes down. Back to the top of the lineup we go here for the Dragons. Polito Perez taking his spot in the box. Polito was hit in the head by Brody Mann with that hit by pitch, went over to first base. And he made a steal attempt. He was able to make it over to second base. He moved over and then got picked off. Just like what Scotty Wyatt just tried to do. Wyatt also played for 4 years with the club team, the East Coast Sox. Played all 4 years of baseball at Collierville High School. We get to see his first look here as he goes home. That ball's going to get away from Pace. Making his way over to second base will be the runner, Thompson. Walton had taken off running and create a little bit of a chaotic scene. Wyatt trying to take it home. Pace thrown off guard a little bit. And just a couple quick little mistakes there is going to put a runner in scoring position for the Dragons here in the top of the 3rd inning. So Wyatt checks back. Hardy's got him covered at second if he needs it, but he's going to go home with it. And that was real close to hitting Perez once again. Scotty Wyatt got his first pitching appearance earlier this week against Young Harris. Got the loss in that game. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Gave up a double in that game. So that ballooned his ERA up to 36, and he's hoping to keep that down here today. 3-0 delivery. Got to get something in there. And that's going to be a very dangerous 4-pitch walk there to Polito Perez. Well, now we set up the force out. Got a runner on first in Perez, runner in second in Thompson. He's going to bring up Cody Kirkland, the left fielder, the junior, in the first inning. Had a base on balls, took his way over to first, stole a base, and then was picked off. Scotty going back to shortstop Dylan Barrett. You start to see some of the youth of this Bulldog team. A lot of the freshmen getting their pitching opportunities. Mann, Wyatt. We'll see what the future of Bulldog baseball looks like with some good recruits. Of course, we mentioned before the game that 13 new faces arrive on the Bulldog roster. And of the 13, 9 of those playing in their first collegiate experience. So, a lot of youth. Coach Casey, of course, getting his first opportunity to build his draft class. That's going to be dropped down the third base line. Mitch Sisk is going to grab it, a bunt opportunity, and they're going to say he is out over there at first. A great throw by the third baseman, Sisk. A great haul-in by Grant Ross over at first base. And a real wonderful play there by the Bulldog third baseman. to eliminate a very quick Kirkland. But Kirkland is able to get the job done and moving his runners over, so Perez makes his way over to second. Thompson makes his way over to third. But a wonderful play there by the senior third baseman. Some of the most experience on this team as Bennyfield just takes a big whiff at that one. 2 on, 2 outs. Bulldogs looking to lock down and protect their lead of 3 here. Can't let this game get out of control here early, and here's a delivery from Wyatt. Looked like a real good pitch, but they're going to say it's just low. Take a step back. Mitch Sisk over there at third base, watching the runner Thompson, holding him tight, and a massive lead there by Polito Perez. Of course, no one covering him because he has nowhere to go. It's a real big opportunity early in the game to see if the Bulldogs have gotten over the hump of some of those self-inflicted wounds of previous seasons. Of course, Perez wouldn't be on base had it not been for the walk. Just some of the youthful immaturity of this pitching staff, and a big swing and a miss for Bennyfield is going to end the inning. Wyatt gets him on a beautiful off-speed pitch, and he protects the lead of 3. 2 are left stranded.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Carson Chavies getting his first look at the bullpen relief for the Dragons, and he's going to take the first one in there for strike. The new pitcher for the Dragons is Dylan Paseur. Right-handed pitcher is going to throw his second pitch in the dirt there against Chavies. Paseur was warming up last few innings. He's going to get his opportunity here. Here's going to be the delivery against Chavies. Chavies in the first inning reached and then stole a base, came around to score with Alec Hardy. A great placement there. Here is the delivery to Chavies. Just down low, in on the knees. Game's starting to slow down a little bit. We had some high energy moments, of course, in the first inning. No runs scored by the Dragons yet in this one. Chavies was the second run to come around and score. Bulldogs looking to get that again here. He takes an off-speed pitch. The catcher, Shannon, thought that was going to do it, but the umpire did not ring him up, so he stays alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count here to Carson. Right fielder Bennyfield dropping back a few feet. McCabe playing on the outfield grass over there at first base, and he's going to launch that one towards center. Going over is Baker. He's going to have to come down for it. Makes a dive and is not going to be able to get there. Chavies is rounding second. He may go for third, and he's going to hold up right where he's at. And he is up with an easy double. Baker not able to haul it in, makes the deep dive for it. And Chavies gets things started here as he reaches for the second time today. The bat is hot, and it's going to bring up the most powerful hitter here in the Bulldog lineup of Mitch Sisk. So Mitch Sisk is going to have an opportunity with another runner in scoring position. He struck out looking in the bottom of the first inning. Chavies was able to steal on that strikeout, though, and he's going to launch that one out towards right. Running in his bendy field, makes the catch on the run. A great catch there by the Dragon right fielder. He was a little unstable and off balance, but he hauls it in, and Sisk is retired on a line drive out to right field for the first out of the inning, bringing up the cleanup hitter, Alec Hardy, who's got 2 RBIs already in this game. Hardy came around to score on the RBI by Grant Ross in the bottom of the first inning. Hardy had the single that scored 2, and he's looking to score his 3rd here right now with Carson Chavies out there at second base. And here's a delivery to him. He's going to take a swing and a miss. That's going to go just a little bit outside for him right off the end of the bat. Not going to have an opportunity on that one. Hardy with a big swing, big wind up here. Here's going to be the opportunity. Chavies is going. There's going to be a pickoff here at third, and they're going to say he's out. The umpire waited a half a mile in it, and that is going to be what they thought was out number 3. Half of the Dragons started taking off, run towards the dugout, only to realize that that's their second out of the inning, as Chavies is then thrown out, caught stealing. Over there at third base, a good placement there by Shannon. They had him, and Alec Hardy's going to foul that one off down the third base line. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to the Union second baseman. The runners, the base paths are now clear after that caught stealing, and he's going to have a little chopper in off the hands around the inside over the first base dugout into foul territory. Nothing you're going to do with that. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here. There's the wind-up delivery. That's going to be just low and go. Thomas Deschette now at 54 pitches at 2 2/3. We had a incorrect announcement of a substitution, but he stays in the game as a pitcher. Our apology up here in the booth. And Hardy's going to foul that one off just as well. Hardy getting to see Deschette for the second time in the game. Second baseman Adam playing 4 feet out into the outfield grass. Interesting decision making out to play in. That's going to be launched out towards left center. Kirkland and Baker closing in. Not going to get there in time. Kirkland's not going to get it. Hardy's going to round, and after a bobble by the left fielder Kirkland, Alec Hardy is going to be up. Slams the hammer. Gives it a little hit there at second base. And Hardy is in there with a double. 2 doubles in the inning. Of course, the first one removed from the base path in Carson Chavies. That caught stealing is a lot more detrimental now that we know that Alec Hardy was going to have that double, but a really good at-bat there by Alec, waiting on the pitch that he wanted to see, fouled a few off, and then he decided to deliver in the big moment. Here's Grant Ross, the sophomore lefty, has an opportunity to score another RBI, knocked Hardy in the first. Here's a delivery to him, big swing and a miss right through that one. As the infield resets for a moment, so we have a little bit of a heat wave here. It's a beautiful day out in Jackson, not a cloud in the sky, but there is a 14-mile-per-hour gusts. Of course, 7-mile-an-hour wind that we mentioned before the game. Makes it a little chilly here on a couple at-bats. The flag still waving in towards home as Ross fouls that one directly back into the netting. Alec Hardy, the runner at second base, getting some signals from the dugout. His third base coach over there. Adam, the second baseman, playing generously out towards right field. Of course, the left-handed batter at the plate is Grant Ross. We're going to see Thompson cover shortstop. On the possible pickoff, and Deschette's going to go home with it. And they're going to say, that is strike 3. He rung him up right on the outside of the strike zone. And the Bulldogs strand 1 in Alec Hardy as Grant Ross goes down looking. To the top of the 4th we go. Bulldogs still up by 3. We're right back with you here in a few moments here in Jackson.
You trade in your car. You trade in your house. So why not get some equity back from your old HVAC system? McCoy's Heating and Air will now give you up to $2,000 trade-in for your old unit. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty with the purchase of a qualifying York system. That's right. Trade in your old unit and get up to $2,000. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty. For a limited time, only from McCoy's Heating and Air.
Scotty Wyatt coming out for his 2nd inning of work here in the 4th inning. Threw only 18 pitches, gave up 1 hit, was able to battle out of a situation. 2 guys on last inning, escaped any runs given up, and a good performance there under pressure by the Bulldog freshman. Up to the plate is Dakota Danner. Grounded out in a 4-3 play in the 2nd inning, and he's going to lead off the 4th just like he did in the 2nd. Dakota so far this season's hitting .400 in his 4 games that he's played. He's had 11 at-bats, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 doubles, 1 RBI, and he's going to hit that one down the third base line foul into the Bulldog dugout. So Danner steps back in, takes a couple rocks, infield all playing in the arc formation. Going to get just out of the hands of Wyatt there inside as Sisk and Ross play closer in. Dylan Barrett, Alec Hardy playing out on the outfield grass at 2nd and shortstop respectively. Wyatt looks down, takes a few moments looking at the dirt on the mound, finds his footing. He's going from the windup, and here's the delivery. It's just going to be down low, and it's going to be a walk. Here comes Coach Casey. We'll see if that's going to do it for Wyatt or if they're going to keep him out there. We'll be right back with you here in just a few brief seconds as Danner takes a walk.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
Your life, your home,
Your business. Your future.
Focusing on you, West Tennessee Bank strives to serve its clients in every season of life. With vast experience in personal and business banking, we take pride in guiding you through significant events. At West Tennessee Bank, we help you realize your dreams.
West Tennessee Bank is a division of Decatur County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. West Tennessee Bank, focused on you.
They're going to charge a meeting at the mound there. Coach Casey decides to leave in Scotty Wyatt, have a brief meeting at the mound, and now we're looking for something on the ground. Shannon, the batter, takes a big swing and a miss through that one. He doubled in the second inning and was left stranded after the double play by McCabe. Here on the left side, Grant Ross setting up for a pickoff at first, not going to take it, and that ball's going to be outside to Shannon. Looking for something here on the ground to Alec Hardy, possibly playing mid-in, of course, as a pull hitter here in Shannon. Dylan Barrett looking over towards the plate, and that's going to be in on the hand. It's going to get away from Canyon Pace, and the double play possibility is now eliminated as Danner Waltz is over to second base on the wild pitch there by Wyatt. Take a little pause here. The game slows down. It was moving quick. About an hour and 11 minutes into this game through 3. And here's the delivery. Outside, another ball. So 3-1 the count here. So if we reflect on this weekend, Bulldogs played Young Harris on Friday. They lost 2-5. Played a doubleheader on Saturday, of course, a 7-inning games. As we see Shannon make his way over to first on the walk. And now there's action out there in the left field bullpen for the Bulldogs. So Young Harris swept the Bulldogs earlier this weekend. Bulldogs fell 2-15, 1-10 in those games. They look to erase that today against Lane College. Coming up the rest of this week here on Thursday, Fesmeyer is going to be packed throughout this week. A busy weekend here for Bulldog baseball. There's a game here at 4 o'clock on Thursday against Washburn. Once again on Friday, we'll have another game at 4 o'clock. And then on Saturday, we'll have the Washburn doubleheader. 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. respectively. All before Super Bowl Sunday. And they go on the road to Arkadelphia, Arkansas, to take on Henderson State University. That's going to be 6 games in the span of a week. And that's going to be a bunt attempt. Canyon Pace grabs it. They're going to say it's a foul ball. And a good attempt there by Baker to move his runners over is shut down by the Bulldog catcher. But from the span of February 2nd to February 13th, the Bulldogs will have played 8 games in a 10-day span. The ball's going to be way outside there from Wyatt after he had a good commanding first 2 strikes against Baker. Baker walked in the top of the second inning, was left stranded, unable to score, but a real threat here by the Dragons with no outs in the top of the 4th inning. And that's going to be foul once again. And that's going to be an out because of the bunt situation. So poor play call there by Baker as he fouls a bunt with 2 strikes. Very rarely do you see that, especially at the collegiate level. But, man, he got a little too aggressive and it burned him in the end. So the Bulldogs are able to first record an out here in the inning on the foul bunt. A weird and unique thing. We've seen a few. Of course, we saw the batter interference in the 1st inning. We see a foul-off bunt here in the 4th inning. Dragons making some weird decision-making here. But the Bulldogs are sure thankful for it. So Wyatt now is going to throw it right outside to McCabe. McCabe, the first baseman for the Dragons, hit into a 5-4-3 double play on a really hard-hit ground ball to Mitch Sisk. Lasered it over to second base. He had the opportunity in that second inning to just step on the bag and decided not to. And that ball is going to get away from Alec Hardy, going to roll out to center field. And a lack of aggression there by Dakota Danner, as he decided not to go to third base. Wyatt sailed that about 2 feet over Alec Hardy's head, trying to pick it off. And sometimes it's better to just focus on the batter at plate. He looks back from the stretch, Hardy backs off, and here's a delivery. And once again, another Dragon is hit in the head. This time, it's going to load the bases. So we're going to have Shannon go to second, Danner go to third, McCabe now move over to first base on the hit by pitch, the second of the game. And a brief hit to the helmet is worth it if you're the Dragons, with bases loaded here in the top of the fourth. A real threat to strike, only one out. We got Thompson up to the plate. He's already got one hit in this game, made his way over to third base. Stranded on the strikeout by Bennyfield. The Bulldogs are just looking for something on the ground, and that's going to be another hit by pitch. They're not going to call it a swing, even though he squared up for a bunt. Looked like he made the motion to come across the plate, but he took one to the ribs, and that's going to score the Dragons' first run of the game. They're not going to call it a strike, not going to call it a swinging play. The Dragons get away with that one there. Bases remain loaded. And it looks like that may be it for Wyatt here, as Coach Casey is going to come out to the mound. He's going to hand the ball over. And we got a call to the bullpen here in the top of the fourth inning as we go into a bases-loaded situation. Hand it over to the left field bullpen. We'll be right back with you after a few brief warm-ups. That's going to do it here for Scotty Wyatt, who exits the game. He threw 1 1/3 innings, 36 pitches, gave up a hit, a run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and of course, the 2 dangerous hit by pitches. We'll be right back with you here. We're in the top of the fourth. Bulldogs still up by 2, and here is a call to the bullpen.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Desmond Adam getting the first look at the bullpen, and that's going to be first pitch in there from junior Ryan Evans. Ryan Evans out of Dyer County High School at New Bern, Tennessee, entering his 3rd season with the Bulldogs. In his freshman season, he made 14 appearances, went 26 in the 3rd innings, 16 strikeouts. Last year as a sophomore, had 19 appearances, both as a starter and as a reliever, and that's going to be the shortstop. Dylan Barrett over to Hardy, over to Grant Ross at first, and a 6-4-3 double play is going to get the Bulldogs out of a jam. Ryan Evans only has to throw 2 pitches. More on him when we come back to him in the top of the 5th inning. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Bulldogs quickly escape and snuff out the threat of the Dragons. Up by 2, here we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
When you hear our name, know that it comes with a promise to give back to the community that built us, a promise to provide a human touch in a world that is becoming more automated. Ever since we put our roots down in Jackson in 1996, we have aspired to be community-focused by supporting programs and organizations that are important to our city. At First Bank, it is our mission to be present in our community and to continue the belief that when you bank local, you get more. Member FDIC.
Canyon Pace leading off the bottom of the fourth inning. A defensive substitution here for the Dragons. Kirkland will exit the game out in left field, and Garcia will now be entering the game. First pitch in there against Canyon Pace from Deschette will be called strike one. Here's a delivery. It's going to be fouled off over the first base dugout. And an 0-2 count here quickly from Deschette. He's gone 3 innings of work, thrown 63 pitches, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts in the 14 batters that he's faced. Both bullpens getting some action. I expect to see Ryan Evans come back out here at the top of the 5th unless they want to save him for later in this week. Of course, he mentioned the 4 games coming up against Washburn. Canyon Pace goes down swinging on 3 pitches. Actually 4 pitches, because he fouled that one off. Up to the plate, we have Blake Barrett, the designated hitter for the Bulldogs. He had a monstrous double in the second inning. He was left stranded after he led off the bottom of the second inning. After 3 straight strikeouts by Barrett, Ramsey, and Snelson to end that. But we'll see if he can use his power once again to be an active threat to Shed. We're now going through the lineup for the second time, almost to the third here. Everybody's gotten a couple chances to see the Dragon righty. So after Canyon Pace strikes out swinging, Deschette now has 7th strikeout of the game. 6 strikeout of the game. Compared to the Dragons with only 2 strikeouts. Now from the windup here is Deschette. Pitch is going to be right down the first base line. Going for it, the first base coach unable to get a hand on it. It's going to roll out to the Dragon. They're going to send Ty Benefield out to grab the ball. Bobbles it a little bit out there by the right field bullpen. And he's going to walk off. And we reset here. Is Barrett hunkering down. And he's going to take a big rip at that one down the third base line. It's going to be foul right out of reach of the third baseman, Perez. And we do it all again. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to the designated hitter. Takes a moment, steps in. Sun directly in the eyes of these outfielders, possibly contributing to a few of those mistakes and errors and bobbled balls we've seen so far in this game. The shadows of the light poles right over it. And we're going to wait on this one. Adams shifting over at second base, closer to where McCabe is at first. And that's going to be popped up right back here towards the press box, over towards the softball field. That's going to grab it. A slow and tedious at-bat here from Blake Barrett. It's going to calm the nerves here, bring things to a halt. Watching each and every pitch, finding the one he wants, fouling off the ones he doesn't. Protecting at anything close, and here's a delivery. He's going to knock that one down the third base line. Once again, foul, out of play. And we're going to have to come and restock the home plate umpire with a few new baseballs after Blake has quickly disposed of a few of them during this at-bat. Taking his time between each and every pitch. slowing down the game of Touchette, doesn't let him get in his rhythm. And a good plate appearance here by Barrett as that one goes way outside. Shannon, the catcher, grabs it. We'll do it once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Blake Barrett. Wind up. Here's a kick delivery, and Barrett's going to foul off another one. His 5th foul ball of this at-bat. Barrett, one of the rocks of this team here in his 3rd season with the Bulldogs. Constant source of hits and on-base percentage. Here's a delivery to him. He's going to knock that one foul once again. Not sure how many baseballs we loaded into the mix today, but we're going to be using all of them. As the Dragons seem to almost be out of players over there grabbing the foul balls. Keep getting knocked out of play. 2-2. Here's the count. Long at bat here by Barrett. And that's going to be out towards the center fielder. Baker's going to grab it on the run, and that's going to retire. A quality at bat there by Blake Barrett. As he flies out in a line drive to the center fielder. And now we see the other Barrett. Dylan Barrett up to the plate. Struck out looking in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And now he gets a chance to make up for it here in the 4th. Touchette looking very calm out there. The moments that he's been rattled and his control has been off is every time that there's been a runner, especially on second. Throughout the rest of the game, his control has been well in there, consistently throwing and painting the outside bottom corners of the plate. Umpire has been pretty consistently generous here with his strike calls. And Touchette is not going to get that one he thought he was going to get. So maybe I just eat my words on that. But when there's a runner on second, you've clearly seen him rattled. He threw a couple pickoff attempts away out into center field. And that's going to be a called strike there against Dylan Barrett to take the count to 1-2. There's been no runners on. Touchette has looked very good, locked it down. Typically, a pitcher will begin to struggle in the 2nd and 3rd time facing these guys, but he's only got better. Bulldogs haven't scored since that bottom of the 1st inning where Snelson, Chavies, and Hardy came around. Hardy with 2 RBIs in this game, Ross with 1. Dragons threatening. The Dragons not having the schedule that the Bulldogs face this season. And also this week as a foul ball heads out toward the parking lot near the soccer field. Dragons are able to leave their guys in, burn them out a little bit today in order to try to get this win where the Bulldogs know they got 4 right around the corner. They got to have guys healthy, a full rotation, full bullpen for those, and that's going to be a dribbler to the shortstop, Thompson. Comes across the body, high throw into the lane dugout, and an error on a throw is going to allow Dylan Barrett to reach first base on a really high throw. If he takes his time, it's an easy out. The Bulldogs catch a break here in the bottom of the 4th as Barrett gets on for the first time here at home in front of the fans, bringing up Elijah Ramsey. So now we'll see if the control here by the righty struggles, and we're going to have a brief meeting at the mound. We'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments. Bulldogs still up by 2, 1 runner on.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
The award-winning BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios. Over 750,000 views in 2023. We're where you need to advertise. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join over 4,500 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union University, Bethel, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, Sacred Heart, and Peabody. Multi-camera broadcasts, slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. The BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
They're going to leave him in, and Ramsey has an opportunity to add a few more runs to cushion this 2-run lead. Eli Snelson on deck, knocking for his chance as well. All right, one runner on here. It's Barrett over at first. Ramsey shows for a bunt here. Pulls back at the last moment, and they call it a strike on him. So 0-2 the count. Perez playing pretty shallow. Was ready for that bunt, and don't expect to see that again. So here's the load up by Ramsey. Here's the pitch. He's going to swing way out of the zone, trying to protect anything close, looking to avoid that strikeout. Bulldogs looking to defend, of course, striking out 6 times already in this game. Three of them looking, 3 of them swinging, and a launched ball there by Ramsey. He's going to head way out towards the parking lot, towards the cars. A fan's going to grab that all the way out in the street. And if that was just a few hundred feet to the right, that ball is gone. That was launched out there. So if he's able to straighten it out, make some contact, the wind is still continuously pointing directly south. Ramsey continues to battle. He's going to take a rip at that one. It's going to go right back into the backstop netting. Barrett ready to run on anything in play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the freshman left fielder, and that's going to get away from him, and it is going to be, you're going to credit that as a hit by pitch, it looks like, and Ramsey's going to get a free base here after a continuous battle against Touchette. The first hit by pitch that he has issued today is going to put 2 runners on, and we go back to the top of the lineup, exactly where you want to be if you're the Bulldogs. So Dylan Barrett makes his way over to second base. Ramsey now at first on the hit by pitch, and back to Eli Snelson we go. Eli walked in the first inning, stole a base, came around to score. Alec Hardy, and this is when Touchette typically gets rattled. He shows bunt, pulls back. Interesting decision there by Snelson with 2 outs. We know he's got the speed to back it up. He showed it off in the first inning on a quick stolen base. And this is where the control begins to waver out of the right-handed junior for the Dragons. He's got the runners on. Adam is giving him a lot of action there at second base, dancing around, decides not to do it, and Snelson's going to hit that one back into the backstop with a foul ball. So the pressure from Ramsey is not as much of an issue as the pressure from Barrett there at second base. If you can get in the mind of this right-handed pitcher, his control just immediately goes into the dirt. He is trying to get something on the ground, keep the pressure. Snelson's going to take that one low and away for ball 2. Quick to protect third base there was Perez. He made a quick jump, ready to take a possible throw down, but no steal attempt there by Barrett. So here's the reset. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Adam, the second baseman, bouncing back and forth like he's MC Hammer. Decides just to hang on there for a second as the count goes to 3 ball, 1 strike to Eli Snelson. All the pressure here is on the pitcher. Snelson can wait on another pitch, wait for the one he wants. Adam Second baseman, squirrely as always, in, out, claps, out, goes back to the position, and it's going to be popped up right straight back. Running back is the catcher, Shannon. He's going to be right there, and it's going to hit in the stands right on the metal bleachers. We're going to do it again. The count goes full. Runners are going to be going. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Big opportunity here for Eli Snelson to break open this lead. 1 runner in scoring position, another one on first base. That's Barrett and Ramsey. Bulldogs have an opportunity to capitalize. They really need this situation here. From the stretch, looks back. Adam gives 1 clap, 2 clap, 3 clap, 4 clap. He runs back to the second base position, and Snelson's going to foul that one right back over the press booth here at Fesmeyer Field. Everybody takes a breather. Big moment. Full count. 2 outs, 2 on. Shortstop Thompson standing there on the grass right in front of it. Third baseman Perez ready to guard the plate. There's a play possibility at any bag for this defense. And all the marbles are on this one. Full count. Here's the pitch. Runner's going, and it's going to be popped out over the first base dugout once again. Snelson stays alive, possibly waiting for ball 4, and he's going to protect anything close as the runners take off on the full count, 2-out situation. Got Chavies, always a constant threat on deck. Not the guy you want to face. He's already got a double. He's reached twice. And here's the throw to Snelson. He's going to take it, and they're going to ring him up. Strike 3. Snelson goes down looking on strikes. The Dragons get out of that one. Snelson thought that he had ball 4, and the umpire rung him up, sent him back to the dugout, and to the top of the 5th inning we go. Bulldogs, strand 2, still have a lead of 2. We'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments for some more Bulldog baseball.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
They do end up leaving Ryan Evans in the game after he only had to get 2 pitches to end the top of the 4th inning. The Dragons were threatening. They had the bases loaded, and Ryan Evans came, got the double play. Roll him up, throw him out, 6-4-3 to end that inning. And he's going to get a chance here to mow through some Dragon batters. Back to the top of the lineup we go. It's Polito Perez, the third baseman. Sophomore has reached twice already in this game. During the first inning, he reached on a hit-by-pitch, which he took to the head. Made his way over to first, made his way to second after the walk issued to Kirkland. And then he was picked off by Brody Mann. In the 3rd inning, he walked, was left stranded, and he's hoping to get on for his first opportunity to score in this game. He continues to reach, but with no reward. Ryan Evans from the windup. Here's the delivery. A good pitch placement right outside, trying to bait him for the swing, but it's going to take the count to 3-1. Evans prepped at Dyer County High School, played 4 years there, played 3 years of football. Of course, his younger brother Lane on the team for the Bulldogs. Made 19 appearances last season, 41 innings, and he's going to drill him right in the middle of the back. And Evans is going to issue his first runner, one of his only issues that he had, as that is now the 3rd hit-by-pitch issued by the Bulldogs in this game. Perez is going to go there. So Kirkland is going to stay in the game. Of course, he came out of left field for Garcia, but it looks like Kirkland is going to remain in his spot in the 2-hole. So far in this game, he's got a walk, a stolen base in the first inning. He was the one that was caught stealing in the first, and then that play with the batter's interference rolled up on that real good chop shot he hit to Mitch Sisk in the third inning, where he had a 5-3 ground out. Kirkland looking to do something, and a great attempt there by Ryan Evans. Grant Ross thought that he had it, went down for the tag, jumped up triumphantly, but was unfortunately humbled there by the field umpire. We take a moment. Perez kicks off some dust, takes a few steps out, and he takes a 1-2 step lead over there at first base. Ryan Evans pitching from the stretch with a runner on. Mitch Sisk playing in, showing bunt. Sisk was charging in, preparing for a possible ground ball from Kirkland. A real good read there by Mitch Sisk, assuming that he was going to look for Kirkland to move him over. He's going to take a couple swings at it. Sisk once again, he's got a couple more strikes to work with. Ryan Evans with another great pickoff attempt. One of his strong strengths is the placement right off the mound. A real good low throw over to first base, but Perez was able to sneak back just in time. Keep an eye there on the third baseman, Sisk. He's got 2 feet in. He's doing the little creep-up approach that he is known for over there at third, especially against a lefty trying to drop a dribbler down the third baseline. He's not going to. A big swing and a miss there, totally random. Let's see if he gets caught stealing, and they do. They punch him out. A great tag there by Dylan Barrett, the shortstop, and a perfect situation there for the Bulldogs. Kirkland just swung at absolutely nothing. It was about 2 feet outside of the batter's box, but he got stressed in the situation, saw the runner going, and a wonderful throw there by Canyon Pace eliminates the base path. Everything's clean, and we return back to the home plate with a 1-ball, 2-strike count here to Kirkland. And a wonderful caught stealing attempt there by Canyon Pace. It's going to be a dribbler out to the shortstop, past Sisk. Barrett's got another play, and Grant Ross is unable to hold on to it. Real close play over there at first base. A good throw by Barrett. Ross reaching out to get it. I think they're probably going to credit that as a single. We'll see what the scorekeepers say on that one. So one out there from Perez. Runner on first base is going to be Kirkland, in a real difficult shot there. Up to the plate there is Dylan Passier. Passier getting his first plate appearance of the game. Subbed into the game defensively. Dylan Passier, the junior, so far this season. He's played in 2 games, has 3 at-bats, slugging percentage of 0, but the only thing he has done at the plate is get hit by a pitch. So we'll see if they have a similar strategy here, if he'll show bunt. He's not, he's swinging at it. He's going to launch that one over the third base dugout. And a foul ball. Passier here at the plate. Gonna have a little rock at it. He's gonna load back up here. Ryan Evans, once again, checking over at first. He's gonna throw that outside, trying to bait him. A great pitch placement there by Ryan Evans, of course. Passier on the previous play hit that one way out of the zone. Evans trying to bait him again. There's a nice juicy worm out there for him, and he does not decide to bite. Evans now with the swing. Looks back, great pickoff attempt there. Grant Ross applying the tag. And Kirkland is able just to get right underneath it. Here's the load up. It's going to be outside. So pass here takes out Bennyfield out of this game. Bennyfield was the right fielder, and now that title has been handed over. Coach Casey's going to come out, ask a question for a moment, get a clarification from the home plate umpire. And we continue. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner on first. Grant Ross waiting for a pickoff attempt. That's not going to happen. And he's going to throw it outside for ball 3. Full count we go. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Close game, 2 runs. Especially in college baseball, we see how quickly a game can change. Evans was able to work out of a jam when he came in relief. Scotty Wyatt. And here's a delivery from way outside, and it's going to be a no play. Walk issued by Ryan Evans. Pace was ready to launch that ball and try to catch another steal, but he doesn't have to. Spasure takes the walk. Dakota Danner, the only Dragon so far in this game to come home and score. In the 2nd inning, he grounded out to the second baseman. In the 4th inning, he walked. Came around after a few hit-by-pitch situation. He's going to launch that one right up the middle. Alec Hardy making a great play. A little flip of the glove, and he throws it over, and they're going to call it a double play. An unbelievable play there by Alec Hardy. It's a 4-6-3 roll-him-up double play. Hardy grabbed it with the glove. Doesn't even make the transfer to his hand. A good catch by Barrett, and that is some very skilled craftsmanship by the middle infielders for the Bulldogs. They escape another jam with 2 runners on, and the Bulldogs record their 3rd double play of the game. To the bottom of the 5th inning we go, where we'll be right back with you here at Fesmeyer Field. Bulldogs up by 2.
Your life. Your home.
Your business. Your future.
Focusing on you, West Tennessee Bank strives to serve its clients in every season of life. With vast experience in personal and business banking, we take pride in guiding you through significant events. At West Tennessee Bank, we help you realize your dreams.
West Tennessee Bank is a division of Decatur County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. West Tennessee Bank, focused on you.
You trade in your car. You trade in your house. So why not get some equity back from your old HVAC system? McCoy's Heating and Air will now give you up to $2,000 trade-in for your old unit. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty with the purchase of a qualifying York system. That's right. Trade in your old unit and get up to $2,000. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty. For a limited time, only from McCoy's Heating and Air.
As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Carson Chavies is going to get his 3rd plate appearance of the game, but not before we have some defensive substitutions here for the Dragons. Shannon, the catcher, who played the first 4 innings behind the plate, now moves over to first base. McCabe exits the game. They're going to bring in the freshman Michael O'Neill to be the catcher. We'll see how the batting lineup changes later in this game. Of course, Basur going out into right field, pulling Bennyfield. And here is going to be the play. Chavies hits it to the second baseman, Adam, throws it over to first, and Shannon's got it. It's going to be a 4-3 out to quickly retire Carson Chavies. The new pitcher in the game for the Dragons is going to come in to relief for Tichette. Tichette had 4 innings pitched through 98 pitches, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and struck out 7. And the new pitcher is going to be J.D. Klug. So far this season, he's only thrown in 1 game. That was on February 1st, just a little under a week ago. He threw 2 innings in that appearance, came on in relief, gave up 2 hits, and he's going to give up one right there to Mitch Sisk, who has his first home hit of the season. Gets on with a great single out into left field. The Bulldogs have a runner on here against Klug. Klug's got a 3.5 ERA, 1 loss accredited to him in his 1 appearance. And he's only thrown those 2 innings. Now, last season for the Dragons, he had a 7.43 ERA to end the season, went 1-2 on the year, appeared in 7 games, started 2 of those, threw 23 innings last year for Lane, and he's going to have a slow pickoff attempt there for Mitch Sisk. Kind of a little bit of a rainbow throw there. He's not going to be able to catch Sisk in a trap over there at first. 1 on, 1 out. Alec Hardy up to the plate. Been a huge benefactor in this game so far. Takes a big swing and a miss. Here's a throw down from O'Neill, and they're going to say he got him. And a questionable play call there as Mitch Sisk is caught stealing. That's the 3rd guy in this game to get caught stealing. And a lot of stolen base attempts here. And the freshman O'Neill has his first throw down attempt, and he has a great placement there as a second baseman Adam was able to sneak up right behind Mitch Sisk, and that's going to be launched out towards left field. Going back at the wall is Garcia. He's on the warning track, and he catches it right in the shadow of the field. Alec Hardy got up underneath it. 3 up, 3 down inning as Klug comes in to retire the side. To the top of the 6th inning we go here in Jackson. Bulldogs maintain their 2-run lead.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Seth Shannon, now playing first base for the Dragons, is going to get his first attempt at the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. They go back to the bullpen once again. Ryan Evans exits the game. He went 1 2/3 innings, and that ball is launched out towards right field, and it's going to be a foul ball there by Shannon. Ryan Evans threw 18 pitches, only gave up 1 walk, got out of basically every other situation in the 5 batters that he faced in this game. The Bulldogs going to turn the ball over to freshman Cody Chomsland. Cool story here for the Bulldogs. Came to Union to be homeschooled in high school. He played 3 seasons at his local high school, Seminole High School in Sanford, Florida. Came to Union, wasn't sure if he was going to do baseball, and actually walked onto the team. Decided to play after getting onto campus. And look at him now in his first collegiate pitching relief appearance. Here's his 3rd pitch. It's going to be just low, down low. So the Bulldogs now on their 4th pitcher of the game compared to the Dragons, who have only utilized 2. We also have Matthew Autry coming in to play center field in relief of Eli Snelson in a defensive substitution. Here's the pitch for Jumsland. It's going to go to second base. Alec Hardy's got it, rolls it over. It's a 4-3 ground out to quickly retire Shannon.
Now batting the left fielder, number 26, Eli Garcia.
Eli Garcia now comes up to the plate. He's playing left field, comes on in relief. Baker exits the game in the batting spot, and they're going to say that hit him, which was a close call there. Looked like it just got right up in there on the jersey. And a hit by pitch, hit shoot here by Cody Jomsland is going to load Garcia on the first base and bring up
Now batting the catcher, number 4, Michael O'Neill.
O'Neill, who's coming on relief for McCabe. So McCabe exits the game. He was playing first base. And now we see the freshman catcher O'Neill, who had that great pick and throw in the bottom of the 5th inning, will get his first plate appearance in this one. Michael O'Neill at a Hamilton, Ontario. So far this season, he's hitting .667. He's had 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 RBIs. I wonder why they didn't bring him in sooner with these statistics. There's a strike called 2 and 1 ball, 1 strike. Here to O'Neill. Over at first, Garcia's leading off, takes a few steps. Hardy ready for a throwdown. Here's the pitch from Johnson. It's going to be a little bit low. Cody, a well-rounded athlete. Also enjoys playing the drums. Seen him play those locally. Enjoying his time here at Union. Probably on a different path than he thought he would be when he got onto campus for the first time. Throws that one just a little bit low and out. Here against O'Neill. 3-1 the count. 1 out. Bulldogs currently dominating in the hit column. The run column. Bulldogs up 3-1. Dragons have 1 run on 2 hits, 2 errors. Bulldogs 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. And that's going to be popped up on the right side. Running over is going to be the first baseman, Grant Ross. He may not be fast enough to get there, and it's going to land right by the tractor tires. And no ability to get there. Hardy, Ross, and Chavies all collapsing in there in an attempt to catch that in this. But it's just going to take the count full. And O'Neill's going to have to come up with something here with all the pressure being on Cody. Jomsland directly on the mound. The shadow of the light pole is now directly on the mound. And even though it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we've turned the lights on here at Fesmeyer Field. A little added brightness, and it's going to be a dribbler to third. Mitch Sisk has it. He takes it to second. Alec Hardy takes it over to first, and it's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. The Bulldogs get out of yet another jam with a double play. Their 4th of the game, and this infield is working well together. They've been clean, they've been sharp, and they've been able to get the outs when they need to. To the bottom of the 6th inning we go. Bulldogs protect the lead.
The award-winning BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios. Over 750,000 views in 2023. We're where you need to advertise. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join over 4,500 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union University, Bethel, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, Sacred Heart, and Peabody. Multi-camera broadcasts, slow-motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. The BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios. The premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
J.D. Klug out here back on the mound for his 2nd inning. Pitching for the Dragons. He only had to throw 7 pitches in his first appearance in the 5th inning. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, he's going to have to face the sophomore first baseman, Grant Ross. Ross has an RBI in this game. When he grounded out to second base in the 1st inning, he struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, excuse me. And now he gets his opportunity here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bulldogs looking to get a couple more runs of comfort, create a bit of a cushion going into these late innings. We know in previous years their bullpen has faltered. They got a lot of help this offseason with some new signings, and that's going to be a dribbler to second base. Adams going to throw it over to Shannon, and that's going to be another 4-3 ground out, the 2nd that Ross has had today, and the 1st out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Listen to the Beastie Boys here get us fired up for Canyon Pace, the catcher. In his third plate appearance here. He struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Grounded out to second base in the 1st inning. Unable to reach yet, and he's going to take a rip at the first pitch he sees. Dropping back his pursuer. He's towards the warning track. He's underneath it, and he hauls it in. 1 pitch, 1 out, and an easy play out there for the right fielder to retire Canyon Pace. 2 up, 2 down, real quick. As we now get to see Blake Barrett, the designated hitter for the Bulldogs, get his 3rd crack at it. Had a huge double in the 2nd inning. Was left stranded. Flew out to center field. So we'll see. He hit it to left field. He hit it to center field. We'll see if he can poke one out to right and get the trifecta here of pop flies in the evening. But he's going to take the first one as a called strike. Perez, the 3rd baseman, ready for a ball on the ground. Playing shallow. Allowing his sidekick Thompson out there at shortstop. A little bit more depth, and that's going to be rocked down the 3rd base line, and the umpire is going to deem it foul just by a few inches. And a missile over to the 3rd baseman, Perez. It almost resulted in Barrett getting another couple bags, but it's going to be walked back, and all he's got to show for it is a pair of change here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Blake Barrett have another opportunity as J.D. Klug reaches in, uses the dirt on the ground as a little bit of rosin, checks in, looks like he's going to be throwing from the windup. Play by the right fielder on that last at-bat, very impressive in the sun, and he is going to hit it out towards right field. We called it. Pursuer's underneath it. He can't see it. He's lost it in the sun, and it's going to go out into the bullpen. It lands on top of the turtle out in right field at the 320 sign. Thing about the sun here, add a little bit of insult to injury. You got the sun out left field, also got the lights surrounding the field as we hit the 2-hour mark of this game here. Blake Barrett, each one of these foul contacts he's made has been made with power, and that's going to be straight up. It's a skyscraper here. It comes down on its descent towards the triangle. The 2nd baseman, Adam, is going to be the one who hauls it in, and it's going to be a fly out, pop fly, to end the bottom of the 6th. To the 7th we go in the final 3rd of the game. Bulldogs still up by 2. Coach Casey out to have a conversation, and we'll be right back with you here on the campus of Union University at Fesmeyer Field.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
When you hear our name, know that it comes with a promise to give back to the community that built us, a promise to provide a human touch in a world that is becoming more automated. Ever since we put our roots down in Jackson in 1996, we have aspired to be community-focused by supporting programs and organizations that are important to our city. At First Bank, it is our mission to be present in our community and to continue the belief that when you bank local, you get more. Member FDIC.
Cody Chomslin coming out for another inning of work, and he's going to face a new batter for the Dragons. That's going to be the freshman infielder, Caden Hall, getting his first plate appearance of the game. Comes on to take over the shortstop role. So far this season, he's hitting .750. He's played in 2 games, started both of them. He's had 4 at-bats, 3 hits, 1 RBI, and a slugging percentage of .750. Also a real good eye at the plate here, as you see as he takes that ball one. He's got 3 walks so far this season compared to his 1 strikeout. Another story here, Canyon Pace is going to be exiting the game to make way for the senior Ben Smith to take over behind the plate. Smith known for his great ability to have a cannon of an arm behind the plate, good play calling, pitch calling, good framing there, but the umpire didn't fall for that one. Smith set up the screen for him, and umpire didn't give it to him. Smith comes on. We'll see how that affects infield here. Chomslin takes a moment, steps off, take his time to regroup. 2-1 the count. Here's a delivery to him. It's going to be low. Played in the game against William Woods, Blue Mountain Christian, and that's going to be hit down the third base line. They're going to say that's going to be foul. Full count here issued to Hall. Lots of substitutions so far in this game. Baker go out, McCabe go out, Thompson go out, Bennyfield go out. Now we've got Kenyon Pace go out, Eli Snelson go out. And a little bit of everybody's getting some action in this Jackson, Tennessee showdown. Lane, of course, not having to travel too far across the city to come play the Bulldogs today at Fesmeyer Field. Their fans not having to make a distant commute to come and watch their boys take on the Bulldogs as Chomslin throws that just a little bit high for a walk. So Hall's going to get on for the first time. They're going to leave in the second baseman, Adam. Keep batting in the 9-hole. Adams flew out to the left fielder, Elijah Ramsey, in the third inning, and then he got a chance to bat once again right back into it the next inning in the fourth inning, where he grounded to end the inning in a 6-4-3 double play. The Bulldogs are looking to see if they can get their fifth double play here, and he's going to drop a bunt. Mitch Sisk's got it. He's going to bobble it. He goes to first, and after a unique slide there by the second baseman, Adam, that was not necessary at all, he is able to get in there, and both runners will reach. So they're going to say that is a single to Adam. Hall now moves over to second. We got two runners on, no outs. The Dragons really looked at threaten here, and you wonder what's going through the mind of Mitch Sisk on that, if he's focused on trying to get the double play and possibly go to second. He read it really well, was immediately on the ball, but just a quick bobble on the infield, uncharacteristic of this infield squad that we've seen today for the Bulldogs. Chomslin's now going to have his first pressure. They're going to credit that as an error by Mitch Sisk. So it's going to be another bunt attempt, and it was not able to be laid down. And so they are going to erase the single from Adam, credit that as an error. And that is how it is going to be scored by our official scorekeeping staff. Thankful for everybody that makes Bulldog Baseball Game Day possible. There's a whole team of people up here in the booth. Thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to Worthy Road Studios for helping put on this broadcast today. And Mitch Sisk here is lined up at third base, ready to charge in. You can see him ready to go just as fiercely as the runner Hall is. Dylan Barrett, they're going to do a really interesting thing. They're going to drop a bunt. Mitch Sisk is going to get around him. Chomslin's going to have to grab it. There's nowhere he can go with it, and it looked like we had a ring of fire happening as the bases are now loaded. Hall goes to third. Adam goes to second, and they did a sacrifice bunt immediately. They forced Perez Adam into it. Now we're going to see Kirkland come up to the plate. But, man, what a play there by Perez to be able to drop that bunt down. We saw Dylan Barrett go and cover second base. He then ran around the bag in front of the runner, distracting him a little bit. The runner took off running, and that's going to be a little dribbler. In the infield, they're going to say it went off of his front right cleat. And we're going to take a breath here for a moment. Bases loaded, no outs. This is the moment the Dragons have been waiting for all game. And you got to wonder, where is Chomslin going to put it? Does he want to put it on the ground, try to get a double play, take an easy out, pitch him outside? And all the pressure here is on the Bulldogs to make something out of a whole lot of nothing here. A bleak opportunity from the small ball baseball, Lane College right here. Good catch there by Ben Smith to protect, possibly rolling back into the backstop. But it's really interesting. You saw Dylan Barrett run around the front. Mitch Sisk is charging into third base. Barrett runs over to third base on that last play. And a whole lot of chaos. The ring of fire happened, and it was the Dragons that came out victorious in that. He shows bunt, doesn't pull. Mitch Sisk comes running in from third base, and Kirkland is left with a whole lot of nothing on that one. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs, bases loaded. We got Adam at second base, Hall at third base. We got Perez over at first base, And the bases are juiced. We got the ducks on a pond, and this is the moment that Kirkland's been waiting for all game. Here's the pitch to him. Pitch outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. We got some action out there in the left field bullpen. Cody just trying to work out of this tough situation. Already in this game, Kirkland's got a single. He's reached twice. He was left stranded in the 5th inning and the 1st inning. He stole a base after he walked in the 1st, and he grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 3rd inning. Here's a delivery to him, and his swing and a miss is crucial there by Cody Chelmslin. Was able to get it low, and Kirkland just takes a whiff right through that one. Full count. Here's the moment. Strikey's out, Bolly's on. Here is the money pitch. Middle infielders split wide. You see Hardy dropping right, and here's a delivery. It's going to be outside. The pressure of the moment gets to him. Unfortunately, that is going to be a walk. Coach Casey now looking out towards the left field bullpen. The dugout clearly frustrated after a crucial walk sacrifice, and Casey's not going to meet with him. Cody's waiting to see if he's going to have a meeting at the mound, and he is not. So Perez will now go to second. Kirkland walks. He's on first. Hall comes in to score, and they make this a 1-run game. One swing of the bat could totally change the outcome of this inning, and there it is. It's going to get through the gap, right over the glove of Ross. 1 run's going to score. Coming around third is going to be Perez. The play at the plate, not going to happen. Ben Smith is unable to get to it. Kirkland's going to make his way over to third. Mitch Sisk tags him out at third base, and in a chaotic series of events, Passeur is left at second base. They're going to give him a single. He then reached again. Kirkland is thrown out at third. Just like that, the Dragons take the lead. So Perez comes home to score. Good heads-up playing there by the Bulldogs. So Adams scores, Perez scores, and then they make the play over at third base. So all we got left here after all of that is a runner on second and a meeting at the mound by Coach Casey McGee. We're going to the bullpen, it looks like. We'll be right back with you here in the 7th inning. Bulldogs now down by 1 run.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
Expected. They're going to leave Cody Chelmslin in to get himself out of this situation here. A really crucial play, though, was that tag at third base by Mitch Sisk to record that out of Kirkland. And they're going to leave Chelmslin in here to try to get out of this jam. One of the pitchers from the bullpen out in left field actually stepped out, came in front of the NCAA logo sign out there on the left field wall at the 320 mark, was on the warning track, ready to charge into the mound. And the boys all met there. Decided we trust Cody. They're going to leave him in. So here's what he's going to do with it. He's got 1 ball, no strikes. We got Hardy protecting there at second, and there's going to be a big swing and a miss there by Danner. Exactly what Chelmslin is looking for. Dakota Danner already in this game has scored the first run for the Dragons. He's looking to not get another one here. They got a runner in scoring position. That runner is going to be Passeur, the right fielder. But Danner already hit into a double play.
You trade in your car. You trade in your house. So why not get some equity back from your old HVAC system? McCoy's Heating and Air will now give you up to $2,000 trade-in for your old unit. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty with the purchase of a qualifying York system. That's right. Trade in your old unit and get up to $2,000. Plus a free 10-year parts and labor warranty. For a limited time, only from McCoy's Heating and Air.
Your life. Your home.
Your business. Your future.
Focusing on you, West Tennessee Bank strives to serve its clients in every season of life. With vast experience in personal and business banking, we take pride in guiding you through significant events. At West Tennessee Bank, we help you realize your dreams.
West Tennessee Bank is a division of Decatur County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. West Tennessee Bank, focused on you.
Catcher and first baseman Shannon is going to have his fourth plate appearance of the game here in the top of the seventh inning. Got a double in the second inning. He walked, made his way over to third base in the fourth inning. Only thing he hasn't really done today is scored. He's trying to change that here in the top of the seventh as he faces the right-handed pitcher Ethan Orwig, junior out of Jackson, Tennessee, just down the road. His third season with the Bulldogs. Ethan graduated from the Augustine School here in Jackson, played 4 years of baseball, 3 years of tennis, and a lot of his mechanics are self-taught. It's one of the interesting things when he came to college has a very unique form. It's hard to see his release point. It's constantly changing between high at a 90 degree and also down to a 45 degree. It was highly effective and actually landed him a stint here with the Jackson Rockabillies this summer. A good time out there playing with fellow teammate Sam Poindexter, as they both pitched for the local Prospect League team. Last year as a sophomore, Ethan pitched 24 and a third innings. He appeared in 22 games, and he led all of Union relief pitching in 30 strikeouts. But there, he's going to walk Shannon. We've got 2 on with 2 outs. That's why that play at third was so important, so we don't have bases loaded once again. So now we've got Pursuer at second, Shannon over at first, and we go to the 8th batter of the inning, and that is going to lie on the hands of Garcia, the left fielder. Orwig lining up significantly far on the rubber to the right. You see him as far possible as you can go to our left, his right. Most guys will line up in the middle of the rubber. He looks back, gets the sign from Alec Hardy of how they're going to deal with the base runners. But he consistently pitches from the stretch with a big kick, loses his hat during his warm-ups, gets frustrated as that one goes right outside. Every game here is a win-or-die situation for Ethan Orwig. You can see the excitement, emotion, and intensity that he brings to this team. Very talented, well-rounded guy. Writes for the school newspaper, the Cardinal and Cream here, as well as known for his sketching and artistic ability. But today his job is to get the Bulldogs out of a jam here in the top of the 7th inning. No runs scored by the Dragons until the 4th inning, where they put 1 on the board, but took them till the 7th to crack it open with 3. Bulldogs have been shut out since the 1st inning. Hardy and Ross had those RBIs as Ethan lasers one in there for the first strike here to Garcia. Garcia in this game came on in relief out in left field, joined in. He has 1 plate appearance so far in this game. That was last inning where he was hit by a pitch and then got out during the roll-em-up double play by Mitch Sisk over there at third base. And Warwick going to slow things down. Runner's going to be going. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ethan's going to wait a moment, and he's going to stall him out, ice the batter a little bit, and he's going to go for it. From the stretch, here's the full count pitch. It's going to be right down the middle, rung him up. Garcia thought he had a free trip to first, and instead he gets a free trip right back to the dugout. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time for the stretch here in Jackson. Bulldogs down by 1.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
For the first time in this game, the Bulldogs find themselves in a deficit as Dylan Barrett shows bunt. J.D. Klug out on the mound once again for his third inning. He's gone 2 in 14 pitches. He's made quick work of the Bulldog in the last 2 innings. He's only given up 1 hit in the 6 batters that he's faced. Barrett has an opportunity. He's going to show bunt and let that one slide away. He reached on an error in the 4th inning, was left stranded at second, struck out looking in the 2nd inning. We'll see if he has the opportunity to get things started as the Bulldogs have to work their way out of a hole. They haven't scored since the 1st, and trying to turn that around here, hoping that the control of Klug is able to get out. 3 balls, no strikes here. The count to Barrett. A lot of action out there in the Dragon bullpen out in right field. And here's the pitch. Drills him right in the back, and he's going to take that thing all the way to first. He could have stepped out of the way and got the walk either way, but just a little icing on the cake. He decided to take it to the numbers. And the boys tell him we've got ice in the dugout, and he's going to make his way to first base.
Up to bat, the left fielder, number 3, Elijah Ramsey.
Eli Ramsey's going to be the batter. J.D. Klug is already set on the mound looking, and that's when the coach is going to come out. We might have a change here. Infield's collapsing in on him. They're going to have a conversation. Doesn't look like anybody's coming out of the bullpen yet. Klug was already in motion, had the ball, was getting the sign from his catcher O'Neill. The head coach for the Lane College Dragons made his way heading out to the mound. Here we go. Relatively new team here for the Dragons. Lots of new faces for Lane College that we haven't seen before. Similar to the Bulldogs this season. Elijah Ramsey gets a shot here in his 3rd plate appearance. 1 runner on. That's Dylan Barrett over at first, playing real shallow as Perez. We'll see if he shows bunt. Ramsey's not the type of guy that typically will lay down a bunt. We saw him show a couple times in the last plate appearance, but decided against it. He reached during the 4th inning by a hit by pitch, but was left stranded over at first base. And he struck out swinging earlier in the 2nd. So here's the opportunity here. 1 runner on first. Here's the first pitch that he sees from Klug. He shows bunt, pulls back at the last second, and they're going to call it a strike. Real close pitch there. Able to show bunt, pull it back, and absolutely laser one. Catch a lot of these infielders off guard, especially Perez down there. Playing about 10 steps into the grass on the 3rd base line. Ready to drop something. That's where the question is. Maybe even drop one down the first. The shadows of the dugout begin to overtake the infield. Klug, here's a delivery. He's swinging. It's going out towards left field. Way back over towards the dugout, and it's going to land in fair position. And Ramsey's going to make his way to second. And over at 3rd base is Dylan Barrett, and a great double there by Ramsey. Falls inches of the foul line, and they're going to call it fair ball. So we got Barrett to 3rd. We got Ramsey over at 2nd. Matthew Autry is going to get his chance at this game, the freshman center fielder. It's not going to look like he's going to face Klug. We're going to have another meeting at the mound. I'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments. Runners on second and third as the Bulldogs threaten to reclaim what they own.
Can I get some help?
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
The award-winning BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios. Over 750,000 views in 2023. We're where you need to advertise. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join over 4,500 subscribers watching local sports. The Jackson Rockabillys, Union University, Bethel, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, Sacred Heart, and Peabody. Multi-camera broadcasts, slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. The BallGame Blitz Sports Network from Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Pitching change here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Entering the game for the Dragons is going to be Ricky Jennings. Freshman right-hander is going to face Matthew Autry. And the first ball is going to be just a bit outside. Jennings so far this season has appeared in 2 games. He's got an ERA of 6.46. He's thrown 4 1/3 innings, given up 7 hits, surrendered 5 runs, walked 1, struck out 3, but he's given up 4 doubles. Interest of ability to give up a lot of long shots this season is one of the things that's plagued him in the 21 batters that he's faced. And he's up against Matthew Autry, getting his first plate appearance, new to the team this year. Went to Collierville High School with a lot of other guys. Of course, part of some of those championships that Collierville has been a part of the last few years. And he's going to put that one over the first base dugout, just like guys like Chavies and Ross. The Collierville pipeline of creating Union baseball players just continues to grow here with Matthew Autry. Came on in relief of Eli Snelson. Here's a delivery to him. Up and stairs. Autry now in for Eli Snelson. Barrett over at third base. Ramsey at second. Still no outs left in this game. And here's the pitch to Autry with a 3-1 count. Way outside. It's going to get away from him. Coming home charging to tie the game is going to be Barrett. He does. It's a 4-4 ball game. It sets up a first and third situation. And that's going to leave Ramsey over at third, Autry at first. It looks like we're going to see the big man Carson Chavies come up to the plate and see if he can get something done here to take the lead. Dylan Barrett with good base running awareness. Good call over there by the third base coach to commit to the full send. And we got Ramsey at third, Autry at first base. Catcher O'Neill's going to come out, give the signal to his middle infielders of what they're going to do in the situation of a possible Matthew Autry stolen base attempt. If he runs, they got to decide, are you going to go to second base? Are you going to keep the ball there? Are you going to protect the run from the third baseman? And Adam doesn't even have his glove on over there at second base. He's clearly frustrated at that possible bunt attempt. Didn't look like he was ready for it. He was wearing his glove more like a hat than a fielding tool. That's going to be right on the outside of the zone. A real close call there to Carson Chavies. In this game, Chavies had 3 at-bats so far. Grounded out to the second baseman in the 5th inning. He was caught stealing after his double. And there is going to be a stolen base attempt by Matthew Autry. No throw, no attempt. They're just going to let him have that one for free. And that's what I was talking about earlier with that first and third situation. They wanted to protect their possibility of defending against Union taking the lead. Wanted to make sure that home plate is safe, and after a few fielding errors, something they couldn't trust. So we got 2 runners in scoring position. Carson Chavies got a guy on second, guy on third. Hall, the shortstop, tightens in close on Autry. He's playing close in the grass, and it's going to be straight up shot on the left side of the field. Perez has no idea where it's at. He's going to get called off by his shortstop, and it looks like they're going to say it is a fair ball off of the glove of Hall, and Carson Chavies lives to see another day. The sun always a factor here with not a cloud in the sky. Perez lost it. He runs into foul territory, and the shortstop Hall just lets it fall right there, and this is not what you want if you are the Lane Dragons. Mitch Sisk steps up to the plate with bases loaded. Game on the line, no outs. Game is tied from Mitch Sisk. Sisk had a single in the 5th inning. He was caught stealing by the catcher O'Neill. He had a line drive out to right field, and now he's the guy that you don't want up to the plate. Sisk, of course, hitting 2 home runs earlier this week against Young Harris. Knocked them out of the ballpark, and we'll see what he can do here with bases loaded. Adam and Hall playing tight. We've got Chavies over at first, and that's going to be launched out over the right field towards parking lot by the field house. And we're going to take a reset moment. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. We got Chavies at first, Autry at second, Ramsey at third, and Sisk is going to load up. Here's the pitch. They're pitching him out. 3 balls, 1 strike. You clearly tell that Jennings is a little frustrated and flustered. And that is a moment he doesn't want to give up another possible double or a long ball. He wants to keep this on the ground here, force a play at the plate. Infield playing in, and Sisk is going to hit it off of the leg of Jennings. It's going to roll over to the shortstop position, and 1 run is going to score. The bases remain loaded, and the Bulldogs take the lead back on an RBI hit here by Mitch Sisk on a weird play that Jennings couldn't get a hold of. It went up onto the mound, went off his right cleat, kicked out, and Hall was ready to protect the bag, and just like that, the Bulldogs are right back in this game. They've reclaimed their lead. They lay the flag here on the mound, and it looks like we may have a conversation here on how they're going to face it. We'll be right back with you here. The Bulldogs up 5-4. They got 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. The Dragons have 4 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors. And we'll be right back with you after this brief meeting at the mound.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
When you hear our name, know that it comes with a promise to give back to the community that built us. A promise to provide a human touch in a world that is becoming more automated. Ever since we put our roots down in Jackson in 1996, we have aspired to be community-focused by supporting programs and organizations that are important to our city. At First Bank, it is our mission to be present in our community and to continue the belief that when you bank local, you get more. Member FDIC.
Back at the bottom of the 7th inning, the Bulldogs have reclaimed their lead on a single by Mitch Sisk, and they threaten to do more right here. It's Alec Hardy coming up to the plate. Alec has a single where he scored 2 RBIs in the 1st inning. He has a double in the 3rd inning, and then he flew out to left field in the 5th inning. A couple of substitutions here for the Dragons. Morgan is going to come on. Cannon Morgan is going to substitute in to become the new catcher behind the plate for the new pitcher, Dominic Mercado. Currently throughout this season, Mercado has been flawless. He's been perfect. He's got a 0 ERA. He's got a win already in this season. He's only given up 2 hits. He's struck out 3. He's walked 2. He's faced 12 batters. And the Bulldogs look to give him his first poor record of the season. But this is the guy that they're going to turn the ball over to, try to get out of this jam. Bases loaded still remain. We got Sisk at first, Chavies at second, Autry at third, and here's the first pitch to Alec Hardy. It's going to be a strike. Everybody just kind of takes a big breath. Everything was moving really quickly. The wheels on the bus began to fall off here for Lane quickly, and they just tried to pull over, bring somebody else in to drive, and we'll see what they're able to do here as he throws it right outside to Alec Hardy. He's been a force to reckon with already in this game. It's been good to see the bats come alive here for the Bulldogs. They've played small ball. They've been able to get the doubles where it's needed, but truly the playmaker of this game has been the infield for the Bulldogs on the defense. Over 4 double plays already in this game. Umpire's going to call Alec out on a little ball that looked right to be on the outside line of the left-handed batter's box. Alec wasn't too sure about it, so he's going to step back in, give a couple windmills of the bat, and bases loaded. Here is the big money moment for Alec Hardy. Right down the middle. It's going to get away from the catcher. 1 run's going to score. That's going to be Autry. He comes home on the wild pitch. Morgan's unable to get it. And the catcher substitution bites the Dragons, and the Bulldogs take a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Autry comes home to score. Everybody moves around one bag. Chavies goes to third. Sisk goes to second. A little bit more pressure is now off Alec Hardy because the force out is taken away. Because of that, you're going to see the infield now move in at a possible play at the plate situation rather than trying to get a double play, roll them up play, and it's going to be hit to the shortstop. It's going to be Hall. He's going to look over to third, make the easy play at first, and they're going to have their first out of the inning in a 4-3 ground out, but not before the wild pitch takes a shot at it before Grant Ross is going to step up to the plate. Grant Ross had an RBI in the first inning where he grounded out. That knocked in Alec Hardy. He struck out looking in the 3rd inning and grounded out in the 6th inning just a few moments ago as we approach hour number 3 of this game. And that's going to be a called strike there against Grant Ross. Mercado on the mound. He's going to wind up. Huge lead out there by Mitch Sisk. He's basically playing shortstop. Mercado's going to throw just a bit outside there for Grant Ross, the sophomore first baseman. Loads up on the left side of the plate. Infield once again playing in to lock down the possible scoring attempt. And a big swing and a miss there by Grant. Bulldogs have 1 out, 2 on. Sisk bringing some energy there at second base. Chavies at third. 2 guys that are hungry to get some runs here. So Mercado from the stretch. First baseman Shannon playing shallow, and that's going to be a big swing and a miss by Ross. And Mercado comes in, gets 1 out, 2 outs, and now he's got to face Ben Smith.
Now batting the catcher, number 14, Ben Smith.
Ben Smith, of course, coming in relief. Canyon Pace that we mentioned last inning takes the first one as a called strike. Ben Smith has been, in previous seasons, of course, the best defensive catcher that the Bulldogs have had, but has struggled at the plate. Last year, he started off after having an injury in the summer, went and relearned basically his entire form after he had his surgery. We'll see how he worked in the offseason, spending each and every day doing some tee work. Lots of work in the field house, trying to adjust his swing, feel comfortable at the plate, really break into that form behind the plate that we haven't seen him be able to do in previous seasons. It's his senior year, 4th year with the Bulldogs, at time all 4 years, and that is going to be a called strike 3. 1, 2, 3 for Mercado. He comes in, goes 3 in a row, and the Bulldogs leave 2 stranded, but not before they strike. They reclaim what's rightfully theirs. They're up 6-4 to the 8th inning we go right here in Jackson, Tennessee.
Can I get some help?
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
Couple changes here for the Bulldogs. Main one is going to be the relief pitcher for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Lane Evans. We saw his older brother Ryan come in, throw 1 2/3 innings through 18 pitches, and Lane is going to have his opportunity here in his second season with the Bulldogs. Went to Dyer County High School, played all 4 years of baseball, and that's going to be popped up by the catcher. Underneath it is Ben Smith, and he's got it right behind the plate. And Kusera, the new catcher, is retired. It's going to be credited as a pop fly catch by the catcher. Now we're going to see Hall come up to the plate. Hall walked in the 7th inning, came around to score, and he's going to have an opportunity to face Lane Evans here. Lane last year started 11 games, made 16 total appearances, pitched 45 and a third innings, went 2-8 with a 10.13 ERA, but he did record 26 strikeouts. When he was in high school, he earned district all-academic team honors, Tennessee Baseball Report all-region, all-state two-way team, Dyer County Pitcher of the Year. He was also awarded into the Wall of Honor, top of his class, Choctaw Scholar, Honor Scholar, Student Council, Dyer County Youth Leadership. It just goes on and on and on. Studying business administration here at Union University. So far this season, he's only been in one other game. He actually was credited with the loss there against Young Harris on February 2nd. Came into the game, recorded a 6.75 ERA, threw 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, and carried a lot of the load in that game against Young Harris. That ball is going to be in the dirt, but a great defensive stop there by Ben Smith. So we see the streaks here of shadows covering the field all the way out to the outfield. Carson Chavey is really the only one standing in light out there in right field. Center and left are covered. That's going to be hit back into the wall by Hall. Hardy's got some light there, but he's got those good sunglasses on. Love that. And here we go. Infield dropping back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Evans. In the dirt. Ben Smith liked it. It's what he called for. He was trying to get Hall to chase after it. Left him a little cookie right outside there, and I probably would have swung at that if I was a batter, but that's why I don't play college baseball. Hall here with a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Evans. Right over his head, bounces over. Alec Hardy running over from it, makes the throw in the air, and a great Jeter-esque play there by Alec Hardy. Leaping through the air over to Grant Ross, and that will retire the Dragon shortstop. It's a 4-3 ground out. And now we're going to see the second baseman, Desmond Adam, for his 4th plate appearance of the game. Reached on an error in the 7th inning, came home to score. It was the third run of the game, and an amazing catch there by Lane Evans. He'll take it over himself, hand it over to the glove of Grant Ross, and that's going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 3 up, 3 down. The side is retired, and to the bottom of the 8th inning we go. Bulldogs protect the lead, and Lane Evans slams the door on the hopes of the Dragons come back in the 8th. We'll be right back with you here in the bottom of the inning.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Coming on for another inning of work here. He threw 13 pitches. He was lights out in the 7th, and he's going to face a batter he didn't expect to see. Blake Barrett will exit the game. He was the designated hitter here for the Bulldogs so far today. He left with a double, went 1 for 3, and now we're going to get to see Billy Beckham at the plate. He's going to take that, put it right in the gap. A diving play there by the shortstop Hall. He knocks it down, protects extra bases. But Beckham is going to get on with a single, and he will be the first runner on here, and a hit yielded by Mercado, who has been just lights out so far that we've seen. Billy Beckham gets his first hit here at home in the 2024 season. Now we've got Dylan Barrett coming up to the plate. It's his 4th plate appearance. Reached on an error and a hit by pitch. He's got on a couple different freeways, came around to score in the 7th inning. He shows bunt. Not paying attention was Perez, so he comes charging in. He lays a great bunt down. There's no one to cover first. Coming over to the second baseman, Adam, and he totally misses the ball. Running over to second base is going to be Barrett. Beckham makes his way over to third, and a miscommunication there by the Dragons is going to create a slow bleed here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mercado came charging in. Shannon came in. And it looked like he had his sunglasses on the head, and he was unable to catch it there over at first base. And that is why, if you've got expensive sunglasses, you need to use them. It's bright here at the Fez here on this Tuesday afternoon, and a miscommunication and unexpected bunt. As soon as Barrett went and he showed the bunt, it was very clear they weren't expecting it. Perez looked totally off his roll, and now they come charging in, and it looks like they're playing a little bit of catch-up here by the infield in a tough moment. So Beckham is all the way over at third base. There's no outs recorded. Barrett is now at second. He rounded it on that throwing error, and Ramsey is now going to be at the plate. Here's the pitch to Ramsey. He's going to poke that one out towards left field, going out towards the bullpen, and it's going to land in foul territory. Ramsey struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. He was hit by a pitch, was left stranded at first, and he had the really big double that he happened to have in the 7th inning, where he placed that thing just perfectly inches away from the foul line in left field last inning. Here's a delivery to him. It's going to be right off of his legs. Are they going to say it's a hit by pitch? The umpire is going to whistle it dead. He's going to award the runner the bag, and he's going to take away the run from Billy Beckham. So Beckham's going to go back to third. Barrett's going to go back to second, but they're going to move Ramsey over to first, and we got the bases juiced. No outs, and to the top of the lineup we go again. The Bulldogs have a fun opportunity to entertain the fans. A few little fireworks here in the late innings. Infield all playing in on the grass, and the Dragons thought they had this game. They came back in the 7th inning, put up 3, took the lead. And the Bulldogs, after having a chilly few innings in the middle of the game, decided they're going to wake back up and start tearing it up as Matthew Autry swings through the first pitch that he sees from Mercado. Autry came into the game in substitution of Eli Snelson, playing center field and batting in the one hole. He's got a stolen base, came around to score last inning, and he's going to have the opportunity to do something big here with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch to Autry. Good curveball off speed. Came in on the body, dropped in right on the plate, and it was a called strike 2 here against Matthew Autry. We got Ramsey on first, Barrett on second, Beckham on third, and the entire infield playing in. Here's the delivery from the stretch from Mercado. It's going to be put in play right to the shortstop. He's going to take it home. He's going to get one out at home, take the lead runner, and that's going to be it. He's going to throw it back to third base. No chance to get Barrett. But Beckham will be eliminated from the base path at home, and that will let Autry reach on a fielder's choice. We've got the same situation, just one more out. So we got Barrett at third, Ramsey at second, we turn the keys over to Carson Chavis. He stole a base in the first inning. After reaching, came around to score on the single by Alec Hardy. He was caught stealing after his double in the third inning. He grounded out in the fifth, reached on an error, and was left stranded to end that seventh inning. He was the man that was leading the charge when Mercado came and shut the door last inning. Mercado looking to do the same thing. Bulldogs trying to get something going here with the bases loaded. You see the second baseman Adam playing closer this time. Ball right outside. And we've got Hall playing relatively close to third base. Big wide open gap in the middle of the field. Chavis can poke something there or just drive one deep. And he's going to take it opposite field. It's going to be a foul ball over by the third base dugout where the Bulldogs reside. Everybody kind of taking a breath here. Fans have had an entertaining afternoon at Fesmeyer Field. As the sun begins to set, the lights begin to take over here. Hall, the shortstop, looks like he's about to charge in. And here's the throw. It's going to be a called strike there on Carson, taking the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bulldogs have the opportunity to blow this open. Nobody warming up there. It looks like they're going to have Lane Evans try to close out this game here in the top of the 9th. But if they can give him a few runs of insurance, it's going to be a lot easier to walk away in the win column. Throws an off-speed pitch that just doesn't fall in the dirt outside the right-handed batter's box. Chavis is going to take a minute, knock the mud off his cleats. He's got mud all over him when he tried to steal that bag all the way back in the first inning. And he's hoping he can plate a few here. Here's a delivery, and it's going to be hit back towards the parking lot over the third base dugout. Steps out, adjusts the belt. We're going to wait again. Adam, the second baseman, really getting jittery over there, waiting for a possible ground ball. They're looking for a double play situation here. But the shortstop Hall is really far away from second base. So if there's a ball, they're down. They got to take it home. And that looks like that's what they're going to continue to do as Carson Chavis continues to battle, keep hitting foul balls just to stay alive and stay in this at-bat. Really the only thing that's lit right now, it's not covered by shadow, is the infield. All the dirt is just perfectly outlined by the sun. And here's a delivery from Mercado. It's going to be outside, and the count goes full. This is going to be a cash money moment here for Mercado, who has the chance to ring him up, strike him out. But all the pressure's here on the pitcher. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Hall, Adam playing in on the grass. Everybody playing shallow. The deepest man in the field is Elijah Ramsey out there, the runner at second base. And here's a delivery. It's an off-speed pitch. It's going to go off of the glove of Adam. There's going to be a play by the shortstop. They're going to call him safe at home. Dylan Barrett comes home to score. A great recovery there by the shortstop Hall after it bounced off the glove of Adam. And here wondering once again, he checked his hat but does not put the sunglasses on once again, and it's going to cost them a run, and the bases continue to stay loaded. They're going to credit that as an error. Chavis is going to reach. Autry's going to go over to second. Chavis goes over to first. Ramsey makes his way to third, and Dylan Barrett comes home to score on the error. The bases are still loaded, and once again, we've got a situation where Mitch Sisk is the batter with bases loaded. He gets some redemption for the last inning where he cleaned house, got the single, scored the runs. Mitch is now in his 5th plate appearance of the game. Struck out looking in the first inning. He had a line drive out to right field in the 3rd inning. He was caught stealing after the single in the 5th. He had the single in the 7th, and now he's got the bases loaded. 1 run has come home to score. Chavis on first, Autry on second, Ramsey on third, and Mitch is going to have an opportunity to do something big here. Late in this game, infield still playing in. We got a 1-1-1 situation. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 moment here for Mercado to try to get something in play on the ground. Mitch Sisk takes a big swing there. And a helicopter-esque swing goes from the bottom, swings up, and a great pitch placement there by the Dragon right-handed reliever to get Mitch Sisk to chase that outside. So he adjusts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield playing close. They're tight on the grass, and here's the play. It's going to be an off-speed. He goes to third base. He steps on the bag. He's going to go all the way across, and Perez is able to get the double play. It's a 5-3 double play, and Mitch Sisk hit it exactly where the Dragons needed him to, but not before they add 1 more run of insurance. We'll see Lane Evans come out, try to slam the door, get the close. To the top of the 9th inning we go.
Your life, your home,
Your business. Your future.
Focusing on you, West Tennessee Bank strives to serve its clients in every season of life. With vast experience in personal and business banking, we take pride in guiding you through significant events. At West Tennessee Bank, we help you realize your dreams.
West Tennessee Bank is a division of Decatur County Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. West Tennessee Bank, focused on you.
Start off the top of the 9th inning. We're right back to where we started the game almost 3 hours and 7 minutes ago. And that is with Palito Perez. The third baseman for the Dragons comes on for his 5th plate appearance, and he's going to be facing Lane Evans, who came in the 8th. Had a perfect 1, 2, 3 inning. Cleaned house, and a beautiful 9 pitches is all it took to get out of the 8th. We'll see if he can do it here in the 9th. Here's his second pitch to Palito, in there for a called strike. Perez in this game was hit by a pitch in the first inning right to the head by Brody Mann, the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs. He was then picked off on his way to third base, actually at second base. And in the 3rd inning, he walked, made his way over to second. In the 5th, he was caught stealing again. He just keeps getting busted by the Bulldog defense today. He was hit by a pitch twice in this game, but it was the 7th inning that he was able to come home and score. Here's a delivery to him. 2-1 and a big swing. It looked like he got a big piece of that one. Knocked it right back into the netting. Ben Smith remains in the game as the catcher. Got Sisk at third, Barrett at shortstop, Hardy at second, Grant Ross, who's got his glove up to protect against the sun. And that ball's going to be just outside. Good pitch placement, trying to get Palito to fall for the bait, but Perez does not take the swing at it. Full count here by Lane Evans. He's got good command so far in this game. He looked like he's been in control of all of his pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Got to throw one down the middle. He does, and he rings him up, and Ben Smith is going to take the ball around the horn. It goes from Sisk to Barrett. to Hardy, back to Sisk, and back to the hands of the pitcher Lane Evans as he throws a fastball, blows right by Perez, and he goes down swinging here in the top of the ninth. 2 outs left here in the game. We've got Kirkland up to the plate. He walked in the first inning, stole a base, grounded out to the third baseman in the third inning. In the fifth inning, he singled, was left stranded, and then he was thrown out at third. That was a big play that was made by Bulldog catcher and Mitch Sisk over there at third base, and all of that chaos that went down in that one play. Multiple runs scored, the error was committed, but Mitch Sisk was able to tag out Kirkland, and that really was one of the game-saving plays of this game. So Lane Evans going to take a minute, refresh. Kirkland, the left-handed batter, is going to line up here against him, and here's a delivery to him. It's going to be low and in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kirkland, trying to keep the hopes alive. Bulldogs find themselves up by 3, 7 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, and the Bulldogs have struck out 9 times, and they didn't let it affect them. Playmakers of this game has to be the infield, especially the middle infielders for the Bulldogs. Dylan Barrett getting his first home start as a freshman in Jackson at Fesmeyer Field has had a wonderful game there at shortstop. He showed up for the big moments, works well with Alec Hardy. Mitch over there at third has been flawless. He's got 5 double plays recorded in this game, and that's going to be a walk issued to Kirkland. So they have the runner, winning runner on deck, or tying runner on deck, and it's going to bring up the right fielder, Passeur, here, trying to get something going. So Kirkland's over there at first after Perez struck out swinging. Lane Evans going to try to keep something on the ground. The umpire now using his hand as a shield, much like Alec Hardy, to block the sunlight. Basically, everybody else is now in the shade. The lights here at the Fez dominating, and here's the pitch right down the middle of the pipe. A great pitch there by Lane Evans to get things started in this at-bat. And that's exactly what he needed to get things going. Dylan Passeur, the junior, left-handed batter at the plate. Here's the delivery to him. He's going to take that one inside on the hip. That one's going to slip right past him for a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first over there is Kirkland. And we'll see if the Bulldogs are able to shut the door here. Evans keeping everything low in the zone, trying to get the bat on top of the ball, knocking it into the ground, really hoping for a possible double play. Anything ground ball, especially to Alec Hardy over there. He's typically known as being a pull hitter here, as he has been throughout the majority of this game. Passeur came on, got the single in the 7th inning, was left stranded out there at second base after coming on in relief of Bennyfield. And that one's going to go back to Evans here. He's struggling a little bit with the control, but he's also just painting right outside the edges of the strike zone. We'll see if he can get something done here. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, and they're going to call timeout given to the batter. He's going to step out and adjust the batting gloves, adjust the helmet, take a breath of air, really try to settle into this big moment as he goes home with it. Great pitch right down the middle of the pipe. Fastball issued here to Dylan. That's going to be a strike. Foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Full count to the Dragon right fielder. He's going to step back into the batter's box, give the adjustment. Umpire down on his knees. Alec Hardy ready for a ground ball, and it's going to be popped up towards the center fielder, Autry. Autry's going to be charging in. He waits on it, waits the last second, and he makes the catch out in center field, and we're down to 1 out left in this game. Autry immediately stopped, and I wonder if the wind really had a factor on it. Of course, we've had that 12-mile-an-hour gust towards the south throughout the majority of this game. And Autry just paused in his tracks and then had to charge in to catch that. But he makes the big play when he's needed to, and Dakota Danner, the designated hitter, will be the man who has the opportunity to keep things alive for Lane College in this game. So far in this game, Danner's played in 4 at-bats, grounded out in the 2nd inning. He walked and came home to score in the 4th, hit into the double play in the 5th inning. And in the 7th inning, he flew out to center field. The Bulldogs have themselves 1 out away from being in the win column for the first time in the season. They dropped the 3 games against Young Harris. They were close in the first one, got blown out in the second and the third, and they turn things around for their season right here in this moment. And that pitch is going to just get away from Evans. It's going to be 3 balls, no strikes. Evans just needs to take a little moment here, take a break, calm down. It's getting a little bit colder now that the sun has dropped. The wind chill gusts have brought down the temperature. Here at the Fez, fans starting to grab jackets and hoodies to finish out this game. Here's a delivery from Evans on the 3-0 count. No way he swings, and that's going to be a strike. Not going to give the green light when the game's on the line like that. You got to stay in every pitch, every at-bat, all the way till the final moment. Here's the delivery from the stretch from Evans. Looks over, checks, and that's going to be right down the middle. Once again, he takes the count full, putting the pressure right back on to the designated hitter, Danner. So he rocks back down to their last strike. Here's a delivery from Evans. It's going to be fouled off right down the walk path to the first base dugout. The Dragons on deck will pick that ball up. It's Shannon over there waiting for his chance to possibly come in and have a plate appearance here against the Bulldog closer, Lane Evans, in his sophomore season. Here's delivery. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's hit out towards right field. Underneath it's going to be Chavies. He calls it off, hauls it in, and the Bulldogs are in the win column. They get the W here at home on home opening day. They win 7-4, and the high fives and congratulations come. The fans got to see a great show today, and that's going to do it. The pitcher of record to get the win in this game for the Bulldogs is Ethan Orwig. The loss is going to be handed to J.D. Klug, who went 2 innings, through 20 pitches, 2 hits, 2 runs, and both of those were earned. Orwig only had to come in, get 1/3 of an innings pitched. He threw 10 pitches, and they're going to give him the W. The Bulldogs scored 7 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, and Lane College scored 4 runs on 4 hits and 4 errors. Coming up here for Bulldog baseball, we've got a series against Washburn right back here in Jackson, Tennessee at Fesmeyer Field. Join us again on 4 o'clock later this week on Thursday. We're going to be playing Washburn, and then we're going to play them again on Friday and Saturday. We got 4 o'clock against Washburn. We'll let you know if there's any change of that through our UU Athletics social media. And on Saturday, we'll have the doubleheader at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. 4 games against Washburn. Of course, like we said, there's 8 games in 10 days for the Bulldogs. But they walk away today with their heads high, and the Bulldogs are victorious. They're in the win column. It's a great way to start off the home opener. I'm Ethan Voss. Thank you so much for joining us for some more Bulldog baseball. We'll see you again right back here on Thursday. Go Bulldogs. Have a good night.